Welcome everybody to both sides of the conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director. Today is Tuesday, so you know what that means. We're going to have another Hidden Gem segment. And let me tell you, this Tuesday is going to be different because I've been getting emails, people text me in my inbox. But y'all need to, in the intro, talk about the different shows a little bit more and explain to people in the community what's going on. I don't know. But I'm going to tell y'all what this segment is about. This is my favorite show of the week, okay? This is the day of the week, every Tuesday, where we get to highlight our Black and brown businesses, our community leaders, and folks in our community that are doing positive things to impact our community. This is a show that all of our community get to see our Black businesses so we can go support them with our Black dollars. Okay, this is all the amazing folks that's in the community, helping our elders, helping our children, making change in our community so we can give them their flowers. Again, I always tell y'all, I don't want to go to no more funerals and talk about all the amazing things that people done. We want to give them their flowers while they're living. We want to say, hey, you're doing a great job. You're doing an amazing job. You're impacting the community. You're impacting the people. So this is what this show is about, uplifting those folks, helping our Black businesses get out there so that we can support them. So this is what this Hidden Gem segment is every Tuesday. So if that is you out there, since everybody have all these questions for me, if that is you, if you are a small business owner, a nonprofit, or you just getting started and you want to help promote your business, come on and sign up and come on our Hidden Gem show so that we can highlight you, showcase you, let all of our community folks know what you're doing and how we could get behind and support and uplift your business. We are talking about reciprocity in our community. We are talking about building the Black ecosystem, all right? We want our Black dollars and brown dollars to go and support all of our local businesses and folk that are helping support in community. So this is what this Hidden Gem segment is all about. Every Tuesday at 7 o'clock, we are here. Yeah, we start a little early because we got a lot of events, a lot of announcements, and we try to get through so that we can stay on schedule with our time. But we are happy to be here. We have a lot of amazing things that are coming up this week. I know the APEC conference is coming next week, so San Francisco streets are going to be busy. Things are going to be happening, and we'll be getting more of those details and information out to the community. With that being said, the weather is changing. It's cold out there. I need a coat everywhere I go. I don't know. Hey, it's getting cold out there. The nights are getting colder. Community, make sure you bring your pets in at night. Community, make sure you're doing the right things to stay warm out there. It's getting dark early. Things is happening. The winter is here. Thanksgiving is coming up. This weekend is Veterans Day weekend. Salute to all of our veterans out there. We are excited. With that being said, Brother Mark, how you doing tonight? Talk to the people, kid.
Well, as always, Bishop, absolutely glad to be here. Community, we love you. This is probably one of my favorite nights of the week for Hidden Gems. Love showing off all the amazing business owners and community leaders that we have, and I'm just glad to have this opportunity to share this platform. Sister Io, yourself, all the wonderful staff we have in the backgrounds community. I just want to stress this: y'all don't know how hard we all work as a team to make sure we continue to bring you all the information and encourage you. So thank you all for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy tonight's Hidden Gems.
Wow, yeah, thank you. It's always exciting. Glad to have you here. The voice is here. Every time y'all hear the voice, like, who is the voice? Where is he at? Okay, ladies, there goes the voice. He's here. All right. With that being said, Sister Io, glad to have you back. Hope all is well. Great to see you here tonight, Queen. What's going on? Holla at the people.
Good evening, community. Happy Tuesday. Yes, this is one of my favorite shows as well because we get to highlight so many amazing businesses, entrepreneurs, community activists, and they stay linked in. They stay in communication, they stay in community, and we keep that cycle, keep that Black dollar and that ecosystem going. So this is one of my favorite shows as well. We can't wait to present all of our guests tonight to you guys.
Is it ecosystem or is it ecosystem? I don't know. It's some system.
Ecosystem. I'm lagging. It's okay.
I don't know.
But it echoes through. It echoes through. Okay.
I'm just giving you a hard time. All right, community. I'm going to shut up now and turn it over to Mark so we can get through the news and let Phenomenal Isle get through all of the events today. Brother Mark, take off with the news. What's going on in the community?
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into the headlines. We're going to start off with world news. Right now, the first headline: Israel fights Hamas deep in Gaza City and foresees control of enclave security after the war. Israel said Tuesday that its ground forces were battling Hamas fighters deep inside Gaza's largest city, signaling a major new stage in the month-old conflict. Its leader foresee controlling the enclave security after the war. The push into Gaza City guarantees that the already staggering death toll will rise further, while comments from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about controlling Gaza's security for an indefinite period pointed to the uncertain endgame of a war that Israel says will be long and difficult. Netanyahu told ABC News that Gaza should be governed by those who don't want to continue in the way of Hamas, without elaborating. He also added, I think Israel will, for an indefinite period, have overall security responsibility because we've seen what happens when we don't have it. Netanyahu did not make clear what shape that security control would take, and the White House on Tuesday reiterated that President Joe Biden does not support an Israeli reoccupation of the Gaza Strip after the war. And in more local news, an elderly Jewish man dies after confrontation with pro-Palestinian protester at California rally. An elderly Jewish man attending a pro-Israel rally in California has died after a physical altercation with a pro-Palestinian protester, per the Ventura County Sheriff's Department on Monday evening. Deputies responded to reports of a battery at a demonstration on Westlake and Thousand Oaks Boulevard after a verbal altercation. Witness accounts indicated that Kessler was involved in a physical altercation with counter-protesters. The release continued. And during the altercation, Kessler fell backwards and struck his head on the ground. The department said it is continuing to investigate the incident, and the possibility of a hate crime has not been ruled out. And in our national headline, Axelrod on Biden. I didn't tell him to drop out. After posting on social media that Joe Biden should consider whether to stay in the 2024 race, David Axelrod insisted in an interview that he was not calling on the president to suspend his campaign. It's overreacting to say I told him to drop out, said the political architect of former President Barack Obama's victories. I didn't do that. He's the only one to make the decision, and if his decision is no, I'm the best person to take this on, then he will, Axelrod added. And Axelrod's comments came shortly after he issued a viral tweet on a New York Times Siena College poll that showed Biden down by 4 to 10 points in key battleground states. In it, the longtime Obama hand said only Joe Biden can make this decision. If he continues to run, he will be the nominee of the Democratic Party, and what he needs to decide is whether that is wise, whether it's in his best interest or the country's. And also in our local headlines, restaurants shut down every week at once booming San Francisco street due to drug abuse and vandalism. Restaurant owner on Valencia Street, at one time one of the most popular streets in San Francisco, are saying that crime, drug abuse, and low tourism are killing businesses. According to a recent article, and if you took me back before I signed the lease, I would have opened somewhere else, restaurant owner Rafiq Bazidi said before COVID, there was no way in hell you could find an available space on Valencia Street, he told the San Francisco Chronicle. Now it seems like another restaurant shuts down every week, he said. David White, one of the owners of Yellow Moto Pizzeria, believes the downturn has many causes. According to him, tourism hasn't quite bounced back to pre-pandemic levels, and anecdotally, he mentioned an increase in area drug abuse and vandalism, which led him to hire private security, just adding another cost to running his business. And that's going to do it for the news. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Sister Ayo so she can give you the good news about all the community events.
All right. Go ahead, Sister Ayo. Give them the events.
DKI invites you to the hands-on workshop led by speaker, author, and coach Olivia Christian. Learn how to craft a compelling, authentic, original, or personal brand story. Build skills to effectively convey what you do, how you do it, and what is unique. Murray's Athletic Development Excellence Foundation presents their interactive speakers series on November 9th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at Lincoln High School, located at 2162 24th Street in San Francisco. BSOTC invites you to nominate a Black San Francisco veteran to win a 1-hour personal storytelling session with our team. Please provide name, photo, branch, years served, and contact information, the San Francisco neighborhood, and the reason for nominating them. Into Action announces the Black Culture Preservation Mini Grant Cycle 2, opening on October 10th and closing on November 10th for December 1st to February 28th, 2024. California Lawyers for the Arts presents the Bay Area Urban Arts Festival on November 11th from 2 to 6 p.m. at the Bayview Opera House. This is a free community event holding art installations and giveaways. For more information, please see the link below. The San Francisco Bay Area Theater Company invites you to the third New Roots Theater Festival for 6 performances over 3 days, Friday through Sunday, November 10th through the 12th at Brava Theater Center, 2781 24th Street in San Francisco. Live stream options are available. The African American Shakespeare Company announces its 2023 to 2024 season beginning with Death of a Salesman, Saturday, October 28th through Sunday, November 12th at the Taub Atrium Theater, 401 Van Ness Street in San Francisco. The 4-series session subscription also includes Cinderella, Pipeline, and The Merchant of Venice. Purchase tickets for one show or for the series at the link below. San Francisco Recovery Theater presents Reflections in Black 2023, New Roots Theater Festival, 1 weekend, 15 performances, 50 Bay Area artists, November 10th through the 12th at the Brava Theater. Tickets for in San Francisco. Dogs Club presents the Dogs Got Your Back basketball tournament for boys and girls 3rd through 8th grade. Register for your school or club team for $325 with a 3-game guarantee. The tournament will be held at the City College of San Francisco. Join the Rafiki Coalition for the visits through Presidio. Walk the Bay Trail and visit the Golden Gate Bridge Visitor Center. On November 13th from 9:30 to 2 p.m., the free shuttle leaves Rafiki, located at 601 Cesar Chavez Street at 9:30 a.m. Free lunch will be provided. The San Francisco Public Health Foundation, in collaboration with San Francisco Department of Public Health, is requesting FRPs for this SDDT 2024 Healthy Community Support Grants. Apply now through November 16th. The Fall 2023 Community Creatives Workshop welcomes you to free family fun event on November 18th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Palega Recreation Center located at 500 Felton Street in San Francisco. Participants can learn more of improving a new skill with any of our specialists and workshop topics, as in sewing, hair braiding, self-defense, beading, jewelry workshops, and enjoy free food and prizes. Fathers Founders presents the Black is Beautiful Health Resort on November 18th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the Tenderloin. We are seeking service providers, screeners, testers, and educators. AAACC asks you to join them to celebrate Black music event. Save the date, Saturday, November 18th. Join St. Anthony's Season of Hope for Giving Thanks on Golden Gate, November 21st at 11:45 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the 100 block of Golden Gate Avenue. There will be free activities like face painting and photo booth giveaways, free raffle items, special guest appearances, music, and more. HCN is excited to announce our annual turkey drive. We invite you to be part of the meaningful initiative by volunteering your time to help assemble meal boxes. To sign up for this event and explore other volunteer opportunities, please see the link below. SFHRC Dreamkeeper Initiative is pleased to announce the Cultural Wealth RFQ. The purpose of funding is for qualifying organizations to partner with SFHRC and other organizations to help promote this and celebrate cultural wealth. Sister Small Business Saturday hosts holiday gift shopping on November 25th, 2023 from 1 to 5 p.m. at the Black 1567 Fillmore Street in San Francisco. Visit the farmers market located at the Southeast Community Center at 1550 Evans Avenue, San Francisco, every Thursday now through November 30th, 3 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., and they accept cash, debit, and EBT. Mackey's Corner presents Mackey's Corner's Xmas on December 3rd from 1 to 4 p.m. Food, dance, Black Santa, and presents. This event is to celebrate those who have been impacted by suicide. San Francisco NAACP celebrates 95 years of service at the annual Freedom Fund Gala and December 1st at the Hyatt Regency Grand Ballroom located at 5 Embarcadero Center in San Francisco. Single tickets are $150 and tables for 10 are $1,500. The Black Female Project is hosting Invest in You, a transformative leadership program, December 1st and 2nd via Zoom with Charmaine LeClaire. Use coupon code WINNING2023 for $1,000 off. Join the A. Philip Randolph Institute, Resilient Bayview, the Walter and Elise Haas Fund, and SFDPH to celebrate Resilient Bayview's 10th anniversary at the Southeast Community Center's Alex Pitchers Pavilion from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Tuesday, December 5th. Seating is limited, so RSVP. Come out to the legendary Peacock Lounge and Gold Room to celebrate jazz singer Terry Odobi. On December 8th, doors open at 6 p.m. and the show will start at 7 p.m. Tickets are $15 in advance or $20 at the door. OMI Cultural Participation Project, The Lion King, Friday, December 8th at 7:30 p.m. at the Orpheum Theater, 1192 Market Street in San Francisco. Walters Wellness Group invites you to the Restorative Retreat on December 9th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. for the one-day retreat, where a team of expert facilitators led by Dr. Kathia Walters will guide you through a transformative experience designed to help you to get into your body and quiet your mind. Dogs Club presents Holiday Hoops Basketball Tournament for boys and girls 3rd through 8th grade. Register for your school or club for $325 with a 3-game guarantee. The tournament will be held at the City College of San Francisco. The San Francisco African American Reparations Advisory Committee cordially invites you to be a part of conversation every second Monday in 2023. You may attend in person at City Hall located at 1 Dr. Carlton B. Goodlett Place or online registering at the link below. Dreamkeeper San Francisco invites you to join us for the community updates every third Wednesday in 2023. These meetings are open to the public via Zoom. For more information and the meeting link, please see the link below. As part of the fall exhibitions, the St. Joseph's Art Society features works by visual artist Christopher Birch and Traversing on Geographics and Blade and Bone, now through Friday, December 15th and 1401 Howard Street in San Francisco. Wu Yi presents the Holiday Pajama Jam for the Bottles and Blanket Pantry on Saturday, December 16th, 2023, from 1 to 4 p.m. at 4900 3rd Street in San Francisco. Come out for the Lorraine Hansberry Theater 2023-2024 season. The season starts with a Soulful Christmas, a holiday concert with performances Thursday through Sunday, December 14th through the 17th at the Fort Mason Center for Arts and Culture. Tickets are on sale now. Register your school's team for F.R. Sawyer Academy's Holiday Hoops Basketball Invitational for boys and girls 5th through 8th grade. The tournament starts on December 21st through the 23rd, and it's located at St. Ignatius College Prep, 2001 37th Avenue in San Francisco. All My Cultural Participation Projects, The Wiz, Saturday, January 27th, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. at the Golden Gate Theater, 1 Taylor Street in San Francisco. The African American Arts and Culture Complex invites you to the Season of Black Art inaugural event, introducing October through 2023 through February 2024 season at the AAACC located at 762 Fulton Street in San Francisco on Sunday, October 29th, kicking off a captivating celebration of Black creativity and culture with special guests and performers. For more information, please see the link below. Into Action announces the Black Culture Preservation Mini Grant Cycle 3, opening on January 25th and closing on February 26, 2024, for March 1st through May 31st, 2024. You can get help to up to $9,500 in funding for Black cultural preservations events in the Tenderloin, Lakeview, Sunnydale, Visitation Valley, and OMI. DKI announces the Senior Home Repair Program with an up to $50,000 forgivable loan to low to moderate income senior and or disabled homeowners residing in historical distress in underserved neighborhoods in San Francisco. San Francisco Human Rights Commission has a regular bi-monthly commission meeting on the second and fourth Thursday of each month at 5 p.m. in the City Hall Room 416. You can also attend via Zoom. Fathers to Founders hosts child support clinics every Tuesday and Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 232 6th Street. Receive essential guidance on child support debt reduction, resolving driver's license holds, pursuing custody of your children, and establishing visitation rights. Dreamkeeper announces the Down Payment Assistance Loan Program. You could receive up to $500,000 for down payment assistance and up to $30,000 for closing costs, and connect with the housing counselor, lenders, and realtors. Walters Wellness Group invites you to Sip and Paint Center every first, third, and fifth Friday, where you can unwind and set the tone for your weekend, fueled by tea, creativity, and grounding, hosted by Kathia Walters and the Walters Wellness Group. Join Fathers to Founders for Fatherhood Reimagined therapy group sessions, held every Tuesday night, 6 to 7:30 p.m., ongoing beginning on October 24th at 232 6th Street in San Francisco. There will be food served at each session. APRI is hosting youth workshops offering job referrals, resume building, skill building, internships, professional networking, and community service hours at 1301 Evans Avenue in San Francisco. To schedule a Zoom or phone appointment, see the link or number below. Come out to Fillmore's Friday Night Market every Friday, 4 to 9 p.m. on O'Farrell Street between Fillmore and Steiner for live music, barbecue, soul food, frozen desserts, retail vendors, games for kids, dominoes, tournaments, prizes, and entertainment. Vendor booths are available. Get your COVID-19 booster and monkeypox antiviral pill treatment Thursdays 1 to 5 p.m. at 330 Ellis Street, as well as Saturdays 12 to 4 p.m. at 1221 Mission Street in San Francisco. The community living room open all day, Monday through Friday, breakfast 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and grab-and-go lunches from 2:30 to 3:30 at City of Hope Cafe in 750 Ellis Street in San Francisco. The San Francisco Office of Financial Empowerment announces Smart Money Coaching, which provides free confidential one-on-one financial guidance. The program is available to anyone living, working, or receiving services in San Francisco in English and or Spanish, with additional translation services requested. Be a mentor in San Francisco Unified School District. Join SFUSD school-based mentoring program, Mentoring for Success. Sign up to volunteer as an individual or group mentor district-wide. BSOTC is calling on conscious individuals and organizations to sponsor our third annual African American History Bowling event and award ceremony. The award ceremony will be held on February 24th at 6 to 8 p.m. and the bowling event will be hosted on February 25th, 2024 from 2 to 5 p.m. For more information, sponsorship, please see the website and email address below. BSOTC needs your skills and ability to engage youth. We are looking for community members to participate in basketball and recreational activities and mentor youth on Saturdays at the San Francisco Juvenile Hall Detention Center. Stipends will be paid. Would you like to promote your business, nonprofit, or community impact? Sign up for our Hidden Gems show. Share your expertise on Educational Thursdays or be a panelist on our Sundays conversation. Keep up with both sides of the conversation's latest shows and community outreach events. Follow us on all social media platforms. You can also subscribe to our newsletter at bsotc.org. BSOTC welcomes individuals who are interested in giving back to their community to join us as volunteers. We value the positive impact volunteers can make and invite you to be a part of our mission to uplift and support our community. BSOTC kindly requests your invaluable support for our podcast and community engagement endeavors. We cordially invite you to explore any of our donation links, as your generous contributions will greatly aid us in enhancing our program. We would like to take this time to acknowledge the Dreamkeeper Initiative and its support of BSOTC's programming. The Dreamkeeper Initiative amplifies the voices and invests in San Francisco's diverse Black communities to reform public safety and address structural inequities in San Francisco. Be sure to join us this Thursday for our show, our Educational Thursday show, November 9th at 7 p.m. for generational wealth and multiple streams of income. Sunday's conversation, November 12th at 4 p.m., honoring Black San Francisco veteran stories and service and sacrifice. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you for all of the events. Community, thank you for being patient. It's very important that we get those events out so folks in the community can stop saying, oh, we don't know what's going on. We don't know how to connect. Hey, we're giving you all the information, how to get connected. Again, where all my fellas at, okay? I'm looking for some fellas to come up here and run some basketball with me, do some mentoring. We work with our young people who are incarcerated. Get a paid stipend, give up a few times. All these brothers talk about basketball and sports. Hey, you got an opportunity to reach out to us. We're looking for you. With that being said, Brother Mark, are y'all ready? Because I know they've been waiting. Are y'all ready? Okay, our first hidden gem we about to get ready to bring up. Mark, go ahead and give this queen a proper introduction to the people. Get ready, community. We got our first hidden gem about to pop up on y'all.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and roll out the red carpet for our first hidden gem. As an East Coast transplant who has called the Bay Area home for the last 9 years, Kaja Elliott is a food enthusiast, influencer, and the creator and host of the As Told By podcast, an interview series which is currently in its 4th season, where she talks with Bay Area notables about a variety of topics, including food culture, music, entrepreneurship, and more. Additionally, her belief that the best way to get to know a place is through its food led her to dive deep into the East Bay culinary scene, and in 2022, she launched K in the Bay curated events, where the focus is creating community by connecting people with culinary experiences. So without any further ado, please let's bring to the platform Miss Kaja Elliott.
Hey.
What's going on, Queen? We happy to have you here tonight. We talking about food. You're making me hungry already. We haven't even had a conversation yet. Let's talk about
Yes. We are always talking about food when we talk to me, almost always. So first of all, thank y'all for the invitation to join you. I was enjoying all of the announcements. I didn't know all those things were going on, so I feel informed, number one. Thank you. Yes. But so nice to be here. As you stated in the intro, I am a transplant. I'm originally from the Bronx, BX borough, but I think I've been here long enough that I have some Bay Area skin in the game at this point. I'm a West Coast convert, and I have loved being here. And what I love most about being here has been the creative community, which was the entry point for me into starting K in the Bay curated events, and of course, making my way all through the Bay Area discovering food. So I've been having a great time doing both.
Wow. That's very phenomenal. But I want to ask you this, because Bay Area, we have our own little food culture here, okay? There's all kind of food in the Bay Area. We are like a melting pot of people. We got Caribbean food, we got Russian food, we got Italian food, Greek food. I mean, it's a lot of food. So how do you compete with all the different cuisines and bring that East Coast flavor here to the Bay Area?
You know what? I try not to bring the East Coast flavor. I'm here to melt into what is here. So coming to the Bay Area, I always joke and say that when I moved here, my point of reference for Bay Area was Hammer, Keisha Cole, and the Black Panthers. That was my point of reference. And I got here in Filipino culture and all the facets of the Asian diaspora and all the things from a food perspective that was like, I haven't had that before. I haven't heard of that before. I'm so spoiled now. Like I will not eat tacos on the East Coast. I will not eat sushi on the East Coast. Like I have seen the lights. So I come to share in what you all have.
Well, I'm glad that you say that because I always get yelled at when I go traveling across the country. I'm always moving around. I'm in the East Coast sometimes. I go to Philadelphia and I go, I don't really like y'all cheesecakes. Everybody get mad. You haven't had a real Philly cheesecake. I said, I don't know. The Bay Area, we put onions, all of this stuff on there. People get mad when you talk about their food in different coasts. But, it is unique here. And when we think about all the different cultures, what you're doing to highlight the different food on the scene, just a lot of different things. The food market as a whole, you're in this, you're doing your podcast, you're talking about all this stuff. How has the food industry changed dramatically from what you've seen to where it's at now? As more and more brick and mortars are shutting down, people are doing food trucks. And I always try to ask people, it's hard to gauge, like, is the quality of the food the same being cooked out of a food truck versus in the building? But I'm telling you, for me, I'm just saying, I'm like, it's 50-50. I've ate off some amazing food trucks and people think I'm nuts. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Listen, I've had some of my best meals off of food trucks, the high-end food trucks and then the after the club food trucks. So I'm here for a good old food truck, a taco truck, all the things. But I think what has been interesting, as you asked about some of the changes happening in food spaces, is there's a few, right? The bar to entry was broadened a little bit, right? Or the doors to entry, I should say, were opened a little bit because within everything that took place during the pandemic, people had to get creative. So if you were a brick and mortar restaurant, you needed to change your format so that you could still reach the people. What that also led to is for people who had no way of being in a brick and mortar restaurant due to cost, they were able to get kind of some of those same things that restaurants were having to step down to get an immediate point of contact with the people who were interested in what they had. So it leveled it out a bit. And I think that was great. That thing I used to see in the South or around church culture, like selling dinners, that was it again, right? And people were able to get their food in front of a lot of folks so that when we did resume outside interactions and when restaurants did go back into brick and mortar spaces, many people have been able to convert their pop-ups into actual restaurants. So I think that's been amazing. And I think it was an excellent opportunity and time for local brands to get a foothold of what was a captive audience during the pandemic, right? There's so many local brands that are flourishing today that were born during 2020, 2021, when people really were having to get resourceful. So I think about Rise Up, which is killing the sourdough bread game in San Francisco. I think about That's My Jam Company, which just celebrated their second year in business. All these businesses that got started in the pandemic. So I love that those things have become kind of common nature on what's going on food in the food scene. But the other thing I think is super important is in the Bay Area and beyond, that Black culinary talent for the first time really on a broad scale is starting to be heavily involved in the conversation of fine dining, right? So normally we would always hear, we could throw down in a soul food restaurant, and that's wonderful, all the things, right? But when I think about Tatiana in New York with Chef Kwame Onwuachu, when I think of Chef Joseph Pyre up at Limewood in Berkeley, chefs who are performing formally French trained, performing at high levels, and they're able to bring these influences of what we know as standard Black culture and areas of the diaspora into what we experience in a high-end dining environment. So from the taco truck to the patio at Limewood in Berkeley, I'm here for all of it. I make my way around eating. I post and share amazing reels of all of the things that I'm eating, and I try to give people a little bit of history about the culture of the food, a bit about the chef, my thoughts about what the environment was like. It's probably too much for me to write on Instagram because y'all know people don't like to breathe sometimes. But I want to make sure that I give you as much information as possible. I think it's great to show pictures of the food and show yourself having a good time. But for me and the people who I hope are part of my audience, I really want to talk to you about the story of food culture that's connected to an experience. So I've really enjoyed diving into that.
Well, I'm gonna pass it on to Ivan and Mark and Io. Today I'm just having a brain fart. I'm gonna let I got a lot of questions.
He called me brother last week, so it's okay. He called me brother last week. So I just want to say I'm so happy to have you here. That's my jam. Oh my God. I love her jams. I have been cooking with her jams. Like, oh my God. I got to meet her at the pop-up at the plaza. I was out there in community doing some networking and stuff like that. Nice. But her energy, her aura, everything. We're trying to still get her on here. Shout out if you hear us, girl.
Hey, you hear them? That's my jam.
But like, I love it. And I love the fact you said a food enthusiast. Like, food is a language on its own. Mm-hmm. And being able to tap into so many different cultures and the love and the history poured into it is so amazing. And you feel like you're traveling to those places, especially certain places here in the Bay Area. It's like, oh my God, when you get, like you said, when you get out that bubble, you're like, wait a minute, you said Hammer Keisha Cole. Now, what did you say? Did you say Ethiopian in East Oakland? Wait a minute, right? So what I want to ask you, from your experience, I know you can't say who's your favorite, but what has your most surprising cuisine been that you tried thus far?
Oh, most surprising. It's funny because I eat out a lot. So I feel like I don't have surprising experiences, but I do come across like preparations of things. And I'm like, what is this? Or how did they fix this? How did they incorporate this into that? I love when I can go somewhere to eat and I have to pull out my phone and start Googling ingredients at the table or ingredients in a cocktail. I love it because I'm like, I'm informed. I'm leaving here knowing something that I didn't know before. But one of the things I love to do is go to these coursed pop-up dinners. And one of the last ones I went to was at Limewood in Berkeley. It was part of their Heritage Dinner series. And it was a collaboration between their house chef there, Chef Joseph Pare, and also Chef Pierre Taim, who has an influence and a focus on West African food. And there was a grain that I was not familiar with called fonio, F-O-N-I-O. I had kind of heard of it. I got it in a swag bag at an event earlier this year, the Black Women in Food Summit. But I hadn't made it and I just hadn't had it before. I was not familiar. And I got to the dinner and it was featured in two preparations. It was in a savory preparation, so made in the style that we are accustomed to seeing jollof rice. And then it was in a sweet preparation in the dessert in a chocolate pudding. So it kind of gave me the feeling, if I had to like boil it all the way down, you know, you have like a Nestle Crunch and it has that crisped rice in the chocolate, that kind of mindset it puts you in. It was in there too. So I thought it was so interesting. Here's this grain, smaller than couscous, right? So real teeny tiny grain that had so much versatility because here it was savory, here it was sweet. It seemed to be different in texture in each, distinct place. So I love when I have those experiences when I go somewhere and I eat something and I'm like, oh, what's that? What's that sauce? How did they make that? What's that thing in there? What's that I'm smelling? I love it.
Oh wow.
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead, get your question in, Mark.
Well, I've got a two-part question because one, growing up here in the South, I like to cook. Like all the men in my family could cook. It was kind of a tradition, and I know for me, one of the things when I'm cooking is I wait for somebody to take that first bite of something I prepared to see how they respond to my food. Like I'm looking for that first bite experience. So, first part of the question, one, do you cook, and if so, what do you like to cook? But also, I want to ask you about your K in the Bay curated events. When you're putting together an event, what kind of reactions or responses do you enjoy seeing people get from something you put together?
Yeah, I love that question. So I definitely cook. I'll be cooking up here, but that's my jam as well. All the things. But I've done ice cream, salad dressing, pasta sauces, all the things. But I do cook. And I think most recently, Mark, I got on this kick of making ice creams, right? I bought an ice cream maker and I started coming up with all these off concoctions of ice cream. So I've done a curried ice cream so far. I've done a sweet corn ice cream. I've done a corn ice cream with cornbread crumbles. I did a mango lemon ice cream with That's My Jam. I think the next one that's on my radar is lemongrass. So I think right now, ice cream has been the thing I've been focused on most often because I think it gives you so much room for creativity and versatility. I like it. And with regard to the K in the Bay curated events, that's a labor of love. And I focus on the word labor. That's why the time in between them is spread out, because putting together or working in conjunction to put together a pop-up dinner, as you can imagine, it's an undertaking. So we launched K in the Bay curated events back in July 2022 with a creators dinner at Black Girls Greenhouse in West Oakland. So we converted that space into a 16-person sit-down dinner where we invited some of the most innovative creators, journalists, musicians, food influencers, chefs, entrepreneurs. We invited them to be part of this launch of this event. We did it in conjunction with That's My Jam. So we had Chef Michelle McQueen of Town Fair prepare a 5-course meal that every course incorporated a different flavor of the jam. So it was in the salad, it was in the savory dishes, all the way down to the desserts. And so, what I loved about that event was the food, but most importantly, it was the conversation, right? We had a small enough group where it was intimate, and we had some really fun conversation prompts that we went around the table to talk about, but people were able to talk about their memories of food, the space that food held in the culture of their families. So that first event was amazing, but all of the events aren't sit-down dinners. We did a field trip to an olive oil shop in San Francisco, all of that. They were able to shut the store down for a couple of hours and walk us through a whole educational experience of all of these different varieties of olive oil and balsamic vinegars. Folks got to shop and get a few things for them to try. And then the next thing we did was at Rise Up Bakery. Again, we were able to get in there early in the morning and have a whole bread making masterclass where about 12 people went through the end-to-end process in their production facility of making sourdough bread. And then we rounded that out with doing another pop-up dinner in July, Foods of the Black Diaspora. I had a chef from Harlem, Chef Coupe, come out to Berkeley to partner with us to do a 5-course dinner that highlighted foods from his Haitian background, but also foods from different areas of the Black diaspora, and also to speak to the cultural stories that accompanied some of those dishes. So with some of the pop-up dinners and then just some of the events that are food themed, but it's not a pop-up dinner, it's a fun way at different price points to get folks involved in culture and activity around food.
Well, I got to say, I'm happy you're here because I see in the comments, I see Mr. Gumbo, all these different restaurants.
Hey, Gumbo,
I've been trying to get them to come on so I can help promote, get them business. Mr. Gumbo, he got some bomb gumbo. But I'm just saying, I'm happy you're here because you're bringing all these people that I've been like, come on, man, come holler at me. But we know they're going to be coming soon. But I got a couple things that I want to put this out there because I think it's very phenomenal and powerful. I almost had a pushback moment, but you cleared it up because you said, I eat out all the time. And I'm like, we're in this culture now, and we try to get our Black women back in the kitchen. I'm like, don't be saying this. All these women ain't going to want to cook. We try to get them. But I was going to give you an idea and say, I think it's good that a lot of these skills when it comes to chefing is coming back around. You know, when my mom was alive, she used to make homemade jelly, homemade bread. She did a lot of homemade stuff. And it seems like a lost art. And I'm glad you said that earlier. Like the pandemic really highlighted Black chefs and the diversity of chefing from Black folks. Because typically we get all of the collard greens, the fried chicken, the basic soul food stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it is an art. And there's some phenomenal chefs out there across this country who are doing amazing work when it comes to putting food together and things of that nature. But for your podcast and your influencing, I always say it's very important that we have all these multiple streams of how we get information and communication out. And I'm one of those people, like I don't get to on everything because I'm just so busy. But there are some people throughout the Bay Area, and now I'm gonna follow you, that I have found some amazing restaurants and pop-up trucks from people like, hey, I'm over here, check this place out. It's like, it's giving you great ideas because, you know, we have challenges as men. You know, I'm looking at the internet right now. It's going viral about all of these first dates, pop-ups. And I'm thinking, all of these amazing restaurants, okay? Is it okay to go to a food truck? I don't know. I'm just saying. See, I'm starting something here, okay? I'm not going to pour gasoline.
Food truck dates, Bishop.
Right,
That's going to be the
That
new
would
thing.
be an
Food truck
awesome
dates.
idea, though. That's actually an awesome idea.
That's
because,
creative.
like I just said, there are some really great food trucks out there. They have like outside seating and everything. You just have to take the right person. That's it.
I mean, I'm just saying. Y'all see, I'm starting something.
Some good food trucks so he can take somebody on a date, okay?
You know, I'm always starting stuff on my show. You know, I get a lot of rocks thrown at my car. The women are just, Jair, we can't take you anymore, okay? But I just think it's important that we really highlight and support these Black businesses. And I love how you put it. It's great that here in the Bay Area we have multiple cultures of folks, but I'm really trying to put a focus on our Black and brown communities who get impacted the most. Part of this show, for a lot of folks that don't know, the reason why this Hidden Gem segment was created for our Black business, because during the pandemic, there was a lot of Black businesses who were open, who people didn't know. People, they struggled during the pandemic, and they was like, John, we need help. They're going to other businesses, but they're not coming to us. And this is really why this show was created, because it was food vendors and restaurants who were being impacted by the pandemic, and they needed some, marketing outreach to get folks, to let folks know, hey, we are open, and get some foot traffic. We're having a struggle in the Black community when we talk about Black businesses, especially in the food industry, to keep foot traffic in our businesses and things of that nature, and the stereotype of food, and I'm glad you're here to talk about a little bit of this, because there is a stereotype when it comes to Black chefs, Black restaurants, that the food is unhealthy, right? We're in a time where we have the highest diabetes, the highest high blood pressure, a lot of health conditions. So in your podcast and in your influence and letting folks know what's going on, what is the importance about healthy food and also being connected with these restaurants to let folks know that there are some healthy options? I'm pescatarian now. I can't find it. I want to hear what you got to say about. It's hard to find shrimp and fish in different cuisines when it comes to people that don't eat chicken, beef, and pork. So can you give me some of those recommendations? I know that's a lot of questions, but just wanted to put that out there because I forget a lot of stuff. But go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I think an emphasis on healthy food is an interesting topic, because a lot of times people don't associate eating healthy with eating in restaurants, which can be true depending on where you're eating. I think what I will counter that with is the Bay Area has certainly spoiled me and many people with all of the access to fresh produce, fresh food, farming. So a lot of what you find in the restaurant is, high quality, whole, fresh food. So, maybe you don't have the fried X, whatever it is, right? Maybe you have a fruit-based dessert. Maybe you have one cocktail instead of 4. You make the concessions where you can. But I think lots of places are offering, Black-owned places, I should say, are offering really amazing cohesive meals. One of my favorites is fairly new, is T'Chaka. I think that's the right pronunciation. It's in Swan Market in Old Oakland. It's Haitian food, and that's sorely underrepresented in the Bay Area. Coming from the Bronx, Haitian culture and Jamaican culture and all the Caribbean, West Indian cultures are so huge. So coming here, Haitian cuisine was not something that you see a whole lot of. So I was happy to see them added to the mix. I went down there the weekend that they opened and had a really, really good meal. Cafe Kaluchi is one I love. That's Ethiopian food over on San Pablo. So they cook lots with grains and spices. So not relying on a lot of oils and fried things to really, drive the flavors. So you can find healthy foods, out there. And you can mix in some of the fun stuff when you want to as well. I think it's pretty broad. The podcast touches on food. I always will do at least 2 food episodes in a season, but the podcast is a bit broader than that, right? We have an artist spotlight episode every season where I talk to a musician. This season is the first season that I'm talking to someone who's behind the scenes. So they're on the production side. That episode is going to be out November 12th. And it was one of the best conversations I have had. The technology that they shared with me during the episode was so amazing. So I won't blow the surprise. Folks will see it next week when I post who the guests will be. But I will say that they have worked with many artists, Kanye West, J. Cole, E40, Too Short. They have put in sweat equity in a lot of the records that we know and love. So I'm so excited that episode is coming out. But I love it. The podcast gives me a chance to talk to people. We've had episodes about divorce. We've had episodes about music, as I stated. Certainly entrepreneurship has been represented. The state of food journalism. That was an episode this season because with content creators and food influencers, everybody got a microphone, right? And there's a microphone and then there's a microphone, right? A food journalist has a perspective they come from versus a food influencer. They really are 2 different things, although they both have intrinsic value, as we just saw in Atlanta with everything that happened with Keith Lee just here recently. So food influencing is fun. I had to get acclimated to the word influencing because, we're all grown people and I can't really influence you to do anything, which is why I like to call it a food enthusiast, because I love food culture. I hope through watching what I'm doing, other people love it and enjoy it as much as I do. When folks come to my house, I'm typically watching PBS, America's Test Kitchen, Cook's Country, Stephen Reichland, Jacques Pepin. These are all the things that I love to watch because I love all these different representations of what we eat. It's the thing that connects us all. So I have so much fun doing this and have loved talking with y'all about it.
Man, definitely. Before we let you go, I gotta say this. I share the sentiment about the influencing thing, but I must say I have to take a step back because I'm influenced. Sometimes I'm watching people and I'm going, I wasn't even thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I need to pull up and go try this. I'm everywhere. I go support all my Black businesses, but it is something with influencing. Everybody is doing it in different ways. I always talk about, but I like the authentic people. I like people that be real. Sometimes you go on these shows, it's like kind of social media. Everything is great. And I don't never hear nobody talk about how bad the food is. So I'll be like, I'm going to say all the stuff that's bad. I go places, I ate this. This was terrible, community. Don't eat this.
Okay, but wait, John, now let me ask you a question. Food is such a highly subjective thing, right? So how do people tell people this was good or it was bad? You might hate it. I might love it. So when I post, I am one of those people, I have to say, that everything you see me post would be, it's good, it's amazing, because I have had some bad food. I don't post it. I'm like, you go find out for yourself. I didn't love it, but I'm going to let y'all go eat it and find out on your own.
I'm scared of you now,
I'm scared
of you now, Alien. If I'm going off the cliff, I want you to tell me, okay? You want to let people find out for themselves. I'm worried about you tonight, okay? I need the truth. If it ain't good, just say it's questionable, something. You got to give me a heads up. You can't put me in there.
I post what I love. I want to tell you where to go versus where not to go. So if I'm sharing it, know that means that I had a really good experience and I loved the food.
All right. That's good. Before we let you go, one last thing, because I think this is important, and I want to get your perspective on it because you're in the industry of influencing in media and things of that nature. We're trying to put together a real Black Green Book, right? And we talk about food and technology. And I know you got the show coming up next week. I don't know what it's about. But when we look at technology, AI, robotics, automation, all the things that is going on, we know Black businesses are hit the hardest. How do you feel about the technology and how some of the things could be a little discriminatory, or like when we talk about how you Google search restaurants and how they pull up? I'm always looking to rebuild the new Black Green Book to help our community. So when folks come into the Bay Area, folks come into the city, I want them to be able to come to my platform and say, hey, I'm in the Bay Area and we got a green book of all the Black businesses, all the Black restaurants, anywhere that's Black. How do you feel about that? And then your perception of what you see with AI and automation and what's going on and how Black businesses are populating these Google searches and things of that nature. Any feedback, don't have to be much, but just what you're thinking on what I'm talking about there.
This is interesting because food is such a human thing, right? I would not be so blind as to think AI and the emerging technology is not going to find its way into these things. I think it was a year ago, I went to a place for seafood and a robot rolled around and brought me the food. It wasn't even a person. So I'm like, okay, here we go. But I think that food is a thing that requires a level of skill and a level of reference and a level of reverence, right? That AI just is going to be hard pressed to recreate. So what I will say to people is don't let technology, and on the high side, that's AI, but even down to things like Yelp, right? I'm not a huge fan of Yelp because but I'm also not a huge fan at looking at menus before you go to a restaurant, because for me, food is an experience. I want to go to a place and I want to have a real-time experience. I want to order and see a menu in real time. I want you to put a plate of food in front of me that I didn't see and research online, and it was on Yelp, you laid 3 pieces of chicken to the left, and here you laid 3 pieces of chicken to the right. And, I want to go have a real-time experience, and I want people to go have that experience as well. So yes, technology is amazing. We go on Instagram, we can comment, we can follow, we can help support businesses in those ways, but don't let the technology rob you of the actual experience of food culture. Put your phone down until it's time to take the pictures, but put your phone down. Don't research, challenge yourself. Just go show up. Don't look at the menu. Don't look at Yelp. Just go to a restaurant you see, you've heard of, go sit down and have that experience in real time.
Wow, what an amazing thing. Well, we're happy to have you here. Before we let you go, I want you to give any shots out, okay? Because I don't want you to come on our platform and people gonna be yelling, you didn't shout me out. I helped you. I was there from day one. Go ahead and give your shots out to anybody that help support you, any upcoming events you have or anything. Let the community know. I don't want them yelling, email. Oh, she talking all that. I was there when she wanted to do it. Go ahead. Shout out.
Oh, yeah. So shout out to a few people. Shout out to Stay Diff Studios, which is the home for seasons 3 and 4 of the As Told by podcast. They have been so helpful in helping me to produce. I'm in the middle of season 4. Episodes come out every other Tuesday. So next new episode will be out next Tuesday, November the 12th. Shout out to my partners who have worked with me on several of the pop-up dinners. So That's My Jam company. Hey, Marquita over there at That's My Jam. Fern Stroud at Black Vines, who at both of my pop-up dinners came in and did the wine education for the wine pairings. So thank you so much to them. I want to thank my sponsor. For the first time, my podcast was sponsored this season, so I ain't had to come out of my pocket. So shout out to Two Chef Coupe for sponsoring season 4 of the As Told by podcast. And of course, my new family. I just recently joined Bay Area Travel Writers because my food journeys are now starting to take me to other places. So I was in Bay Haven in Charlotte, North Carolina last month. I'm going to be in Charleston in March for the Charleston Food and Wine Festival. I've done some food work in DC, a micro dinner in New York. So shout out to all of the people who I follow, who are so influential to me. I love what we all are doing collectively, and I love that we are representing Black food at a high level. So
wow.
thank you.
Phenomenal. Thank you very much. We'll continue to share your information. I'm going to sign up to your podcast and check it out and support you. Reciprocity community. This is what it's about. Come and support each other. Let's get out, support our Black businesses, our Black chefs, and let's get out and be a blessing to each other. And let's build our ecosystem with our Black dollars. We can do a lot. We spend a lot. Get out there. And ladies, you still got to cook. Okay. You heard this. All right. Well, thank you, Miss Elliott, for being here. We appreciate you coming on the show, and anything that we can help do, support you. We will follow your events, and I will pop up and spend some of my Black dollars. Okay. I don't just bring people on my show and don't spend my Black dollars. Mostly all of the people here that comes on our show, we support them in some kind of way, and we will be out there soon to support you. Have a great holiday. And, we're looking forward to the podcast dropping next week. Have a blessed evening. We will connect with you again soon.
Thank you.
Get the sister from the jams over here. You got an insider. You can't get her. That's reciprocity. Get her to come on.
I'm going to get on her. She's coming up here.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, have a blessed evening. Thank you for being here this evening.
Too. Thank you.
All right. There you have it, community. What a phenomenal guest, Hidden Gem here tonight. She's no longer hidden. Maybe you didn't know about what she got going on. Check her out. Go back, follow. If you can't find her ID or information, we had it run on the screen. Go back and check it on YouTube and do that. All right. With that being said, we got another Hidden Gem. I know it's taking long. See, these shows get good. This is why we love Tuesday. Okay. I know you got to go to work, but hurry up, Bishop. Get to the show. All right, Brother Mark, go ahead and bring up the next guest tonight. Read they about who is this person we bringing up tonight.
All right. Our next guest, Miss Aida Perzada of the San Francisco Bay Area Theater Company. They engage artists and audience through live theater productions, creative development, and community service initiatives that resonate with San Francisco Bay Area perspectives. The organization provides a platform for people of the global majority and inspires both new audiences and theater innovators. So without any further ado, let's bring up Miss Aida Perzada.
What's up? So glad to be here on the show to talk about our New Roots Theater Festival. That brought me so much joy, just like hearing the mission from someone else that's not on our team. Great to be here with you all tonight.
Mark, thank you for being here. You, Rodney, you all do a phenomenal job. Before we even go in front, I just want to say that because you all actually sell what you're doing, right? So the first show I went to when y'all was doing Sing America, and you had some other stuff that was going on, I was like, I don't get this. Let me go see. I got a feeling. Everybody was just talking about this great hype. And then I went, I said, oh my God, they're on to something. This is humongous. And when we look at the Father song, they talk about the Father. I was just telling you, you all have a phenomenal thing going on, and I like the way all of you work together. So shout out to Rodney. I know he can't be here tonight,
Yes.
but what you all are doing with the arts, the performing arts, and bringing just beautiful Black talent. And I know you guys deal with everybody, but tonight we're talking about the beautiful Black and brown talent that you all have. There's some amazing people in there. And thank you all for keeping us entertained during COVID and some of the stuff that you all did a phenomenal job. So just want to throw that out there.
Thank you. Oh my God, that part. I there was the online, we had the online theater. We're everywhere. We still have this year. We're gonna have a virtual option for the festival, so you can find us streaming online. Yeah, it's so. I mean, I love Rodney Earl Jackson Jr.'s vision is really big and epic, and that's what's so exciting about the New Roots Theater Festival is that it's bringing together not only San Francisco Bay Area Theater Company, but a total of 6 Black and brown led theater companies. So we're all working together to explore our stories, to explore different lenses of what does social justice mean to us? What are the issues that are on the table? And what's the world that we want to see? So yeah, all the work happening this weekend, November 10th through the 12th, is going to be not just from us, but also from people that we call them the legacy companies, right? So the San Francisco Bay Area Theater Company, we're 9 years old, right? So we're about to turn 10 next year. But all the other companies that we're working with Camposanto and Magic Theater. We're working with Afro Solo Theater Company, SF Recovery Theater, Zaco Dance. All of these organizations have been in the game for like, since we were like maybe not even thought of. So it's a really big honor to ask, the folks who have been doing the work, what do you want to see? What do you want to put on stage if you have, some extra time this fall? It's not really extra time, but it's really inspiring.
Well, definitely. Well, I want to give Mark and Io some questions to you, but I got some stuff that I'm gonna pull out of you. But Mark, Io, go ahead. I know y'all got some burning questions. Go ahead and get y'all questions out.
Ladies first, Sister Ayo.
First and foremost, I just love your enthusiasm. Okay, like you came on guns blazing, like, yeah, I'm here. This is what we're about. This is what we're about to do. I can just imagine the energy at the events. Okay, like arts, dance, theater, all of those things collectively, that is just an amazing, amazing atmosphere. I want to know, are you yourself an artist? And if so, what type of art do you create?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah. Well, I came up, as an actor. That's actually how I got connected with Rodney Earl Jackson Jr. is that we trained together at Carnegie Mellon University as actors. And then I branched out into writing and writing plays, and then into, okay, what does it mean to actually produce these stories for people, for events? And so that's kind of how I branched out into, okay, what is being an arts administrator? And the very first New Roots Theater Festival, that was my first year getting to spend like my whole, my focus was on SF Backho and creating the first New Roots Theater Festival, because we wanted to see a platform that really prioritized our voices. So a lot of times as an artist, you start off just thinking about art, and then you realize that we need more foundational support. We need more infrastructure so that we can actually get connected with our audiences. So, we have to build our own gates and 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 figure out how to open them up. It's a whole process. So both an artist and an administrator.
Wow. Again, I know it takes a lot of dedication just to be in this point. And there's often a statement that life imitates art or art imitates life. And there's not really a more profound way to impact people. But through creativity, particularly with visual arts and music. But can you talk about maybe a couple of the themes that really stick out the most to you, that they're really trying to push out to try and empower people and really shape the narrative in a positive way?
Yes. I mean, I would definitely, I'm gonna lead with Zaco Dance Theater's Dying While Black and Brown, which is directed and choreographed by Joanna Highgood, with music composed by Marcus Shelby. And this piece was actually commissioned by the oh no, am I gonna forget? But it was commissioned to shed light on the disproportionate number of Black and Brown men who are on death row. And I was hearing about their tech going on tonight, and just like, I'm so excited that people can turn something so painful and terrible into art in the first place, so that we can speak out and share about it and really bring reckoning to, okay, what is this situation with mass incarceration? And I think that it's that theme of making something into dance, and it's a aerial work, right? So there's going to be, it's not, our feet are not on the ground the whole time for this dance piece. So I think that is, for me, like, what a big part of what the New Roots Theater Festival is about transmuting pain into something that can one day be joyous, right? We're taking something and we're digesting the harm, we're naming the pain, we're acknowledging action. So Dying While Black and Brown is actually followed by a panel. So there are going to be experts there who talk about, like, how can you take action? How can you get involved? What can you do being out in the world and with your power that you do have. And so I think that that's a really great example of like how we're taking something that is, you know, feels unimaginably painful, and then we're trying to find a way through it with art to heal and to change the world.
Wow, very powerful stuff. I mean, I love how you all just gravitate and grab the community, very diverse crowds, different backgrounds. You know, this weekend coming up, this is a big one. This is huge because you do have all of the different organizations working together. I think it's very powerful. I told Rodney before about that, you know, because when we talk about coming together, bringing unity to the community. You know, sometimes it's a challenge to get people to work together, right? When we talk about collaborative efforts, we hear these terms, but it's sometimes not so collaborative. But to see the different organizations come together to make this event happen is very powerful. And then the power of you all, you know, Rodney being a founder, a young entrepreneur, you a young, phenomenal young lady. Y'all have some young, phenomenal people that I've seen, actors, writers, producers, people behind the scenes. I think it's very important to highlight, you know, here on this platform, we always talking about how do we get our elders to bridge the gap and work with our young people? How do we pass the torch? And when I see these other organizations that have been around for 20, 30 years, and they're coming together to work with you all to help uplift SF Bacco and to help, you know, you all thrive and grow, I think it's very powerful. I think you all have what we call that narrative shift where things are happening. Y'all working with the folks who've been in the business for a long time. You coming up to the 10 years. How important is that cohesiveness? How much have you all learned working, putting this together, working with these other phenomenal folks who've been in the business? How have that helped you grow, and how has it made, you know, just the process of what you are doing so much better, having that knowledge and the youth energy to make this explosive festival happen?
I think the wild thing is, right, we were just, y'all were just talking about AI in the last segment and new technology. And so I think, you know, as a theater company run by millennials, like when it comes to, you know, the social media, when it comes to the images, the graphics, we're so confident, we're so excited. We have an amazing person on our team, Christine Chung, who is our director of operations and design, that helps us figure out how do we want to market everything? How are we going to get these visuals out into the world? And I think that from our elders, we learn about building relationships in real time with real people, and what it means to when it can't be a shiny thing that we perfectly curated, and what does that look like? In this year's festival, Afro Solo and SF Recovery Theater are actually working together in a piece that I believe is going to be bookended. Like, it's not even just one and then the other. They're like interlinked. The pieces are called There Is No Hatred Here and Reflections in Black 2023. And the first time that I saw Thomas of Afro Solo's work, I was watching him perform, and I'm really excited because he's going to actually bring on a younger artist to perform in something that he's written. But both of these organizations have been doing work in a lot of ways that is founded in a world that we don't even get to see. You know, SF Recovery Theater is highlighting voices of people who are in recovery, often from addiction, and is based in the Tenderloin. And, you know, a lot of us came up like super focused on like, we're going to be artists and that's our whole world, that's our whole reality. And so it's really beautiful to be able to connect with people who have different paths. What does that mean? You know, there's a contributing writer of Reflections in Black, Richard May, who we actually lost this year. And he was going to be in the African-American Shakespeare piece that you all were talking about at the beginning of the segment. And, you know, if you look up like some of the articles that had come out upon his passing, you can just see the waves and the journey of life. And it's just like so beautiful that someone could go through many different things in their life and find art. You know, art has a moment in their life where they're like, okay, this is what I'm doing right now. So I think that's a big part of what we're learning from our elders, is that, you know, art is in community, like theater exists in community. It's a practice of how to be with one another, how to work together with different kinds of people. And I think that, like, you know, the way I came up, I was a little thespian, you know, we're super focused on how we can be the most excellent performers. And there's that deeper thing of what does it mean to hold space with people who are, you know, coming from all different types of experiences to make something beautiful, right? What if the art isn't just entertainment and it's actually a process of making your community stronger? So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's very dope. And, you know, I want to give a shout out to Afro Solo and Thomas Simpson. What a phenomenal brother, very talented brother. I owe him a favor too. So I owe him a favor. Okay. Thomas, I love you, Thomas. Afro Solo, I'm promoting for you. Okay. But very, very knowledge brother when it comes to the theaters. He's always when it comes to the arts, very in tune. And also want to give a shout out to Jeffrey Greer, the man, okay, from the San Francisco Recovery Theater. I've been to one of those shows that he did about recovery. I mean, it's very powerful stuff. I mean, community, you got to get out and check this stuff, man. You know, we did a segment. A matter of fact, if you go on our YouTube channel, we did one of his events a few months ago. Go check out the skit. I mean, it is phenomenal stuff. And I mean, it is so real, so raw, so uncut. But it's so truthful. Like, if you grew up in the era of like substance abuse, crack cocaine, some of the things that impacted not only the city, across this country, man, it just sends chills in your body. And it's just a great way how they put it together. And then just to bring the laughter out of the pain is just something phenomenal. So San Francisco Recovery Theater, shout out to them. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Man. I love you, brother. I'm so happy. Look, I owe Thomas a favor. Mr. Greer, you owe me a favor. You're supposed to be coming to do a skit on both sides of the conversation. I'm going to hold you to it. But they are very phenomenal folks, good brothers, doing some amazing stuff. So I'm happy to support you all. I know it's Veteran Day when you guys are kicking off. Are you all doing anything special for the veterans? Talk about your ticket sales and things of that nature if you want to, so folks can connect, go out there and support. I'm going to try to get out there Saturday. I told Rodney, I know Friday is real busy, but I'm going to try to get there Saturday to come support the show because Rodney, you know, I'm just proud of what you all are doing, especially like Ayo said, the energy that you all bring. You feel the passion in what you all are doing and the way you are performing. So I'm definitely gonna get out there and support. I'm gonna try to get there on Saturday if possible. If I could catch the Friday night show, I'm definitely gonna get there, but I'm sure it's gonna be Saturday if I get in there. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and talk about the kickoff, the Veteran Day, how folks can get tickets, things of that nature. And then Ayo, Mark, if y'all have any questions, go ahead and ask before we get her out of here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. We're kicking off on a 3-day weekend. We have a ticket to any of the performances is $20. I'm going to tell you there's a special code. The code is LEAF, L-E-A-F. And that'll get you a $15 ticket to any performance. If any of that sounds like you're like, what? I want to see some art. If you can email me at aidaa@sfbaco.org and tell me what show you want to see. And say, I saw you on both sides of the conversation and I want to come to the New Roots Theater Festival. So those are our ticket prices. We also have an all access pass this year, which is super exciting, which means you can just pay $80 and come see whatever you want, whenever you want. And since the pieces start at 5:30 on Friday night and go on throughout the day on Saturday and Sunday, there's a lot going on. You could go see one thing that you like more than once if you wanted. And yeah, I think what else there's also a VIP all access pass that comes with, we have a toast at the end of the evening and there's a special lunch on Saturday. So there's all sorts of things. We're going to have an auction going on in the lobby with different art and different fun things from the city that have been donated to help support, you know, the New Roots Theater Festival in the future. So yeah, there's so many different ways to come check out the festival. Also, shout out if you have a group of students or if you have an affinity group at your university or at your library or wherever you are. We do have, you know, special group rates for groups of folks, you know, especially if you're like, oh, like I don't even know if they would want to see the theater. That's who we want the most to come out and have that experience, you know, check it out, see what it's like. And so, you know, again, you can email me aidaa@sfbackhoe.org. You can tell our box office, be like, that lady on both sides of the conversation said that I could bring my book club. And we will definitely hook you up. So yeah, come.
So this is what I'm gonna do tonight, because we about narrative shift, changing the stories. Okay, the first 10 people, you go to our inbox, info@BSOTC. We're gonna buy the first 10 tickets for anybody that's watching tonight. We're gonna make sure that y'all get in. Okay, so if you want to go to the show this weekend in San Francisco, the first 10 people, okay, we're gonna buy your tickets. Go to info@BSOTC and we'll purchase the tickets for y'all and have them at the will call box with your name attached to them. There you go. That's how you support community. That's reciprocity. We're going to do that tonight. All right. The first 10 people. I'm going to be looking in the email. Okay. My team is going to find the first 10 and we're going to get you tickets for the festival this weekend. And you could choose the day you want to go. All right. That's how we support. There you go. Mark, y'all got any questions before we give her any shots out? So we get our last hidden gem up here. Come on now. Get y'all
No questions. Just want to thank you so much for bringing this amazing energy. You just lifted it up. You know, it goes like this. We go in waves, but you just lifted everything up. And I think that is amazing what you guys are doing and how you inspire and encourage people. Like you said, you started out with this mindset, I'm going to be an actress, you know, and for you to be able to explore all the different avenues in what you have a passion is amazing. And that is what elevation and evolving is. And that is a wonderful story to share and to be a model citizen, model actress for everyone else that's in that line of business and or have that passion. You know, like you said, you guys are run by millennials. So everyone coming up behind you, for them to see there's so many different avenues for this one passion you have. My father is an artist. My father is a musician, and he always is exploring different avenues himself. And this being Veterans Month, you know, my father is also a vet. So he was like, you know, he wanted to do a tune. He was here for 2 weeks and wrote a song about, you know, his experience in Italy. Like, he's fluent in Italian and German. And I'm like, how did you just come up with that? You know what I mean? Like, people who are artists, I have such a fond respect for, especially in the theaters, music, and things like that, because they have this sixth sense in the way that your mind works. You know what I'm saying? You see beauty in different avenues and different spectrums. So I just commend you on everything you're doing. I commend you on the work at Backhoe. Everybody at Backhoe, I commend you guys, and thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you. I'm gonna have to come on both sides of the conversation. Just listen to Io.
You need. Don't tell me you need that validation tonight. Don't tell me. I don't know what's going on, community.
That's vision casting.
We're gonna give you all the validation you need.
I'm over here getting emotional.
Oh my goodness.
It's reassurance, not validation. Reassurance.
Reassurance.
What she already knows.
Reassurance. No.
All right. Well, Mark, go ahead, brother.
But let me just put you on the spot here for a moment, Ms. Prezada, because as a classically trained thespian, I want you to think about your mentor that you may have had and one nugget of inspiration or wisdom that they gave you. And I want you, in your best classically trained frame, to share that with the community. Inspire somebody in the community watching right now with something that inspired you.
Mentor. Something. Why do you guys come in here thinking that all you are is your hair color and your eye color? Your type is not what you look like. It's what you bring to the table when you start reading the script. So I had a mentor named Cameron Knight in college, who was the first African-American acting professor I had in college. And a lot of our other professors would, sort of talk to us about what types of roles we were supposed to play. And he was like, no, like the type that you are is who you are. And that's what you have to figure out. Don't get distracted by trying to be what, stereotypes are put on you. So, yeah.
And scene.
I have to put this disclaimer out here because my team is yelling at me. Okay, here's the deal. We're going to buy the 10 tickets for the first 10 people at Info at Both Sides of the Conversation. But you have to get your email in by noon on Thursday because the show is Friday and I got to drop off the ticket. So I'm not going to be hanging around too late. So Thursday by noon, the first 10 people will get a ticket to the Roots Festival this weekend. All right. I'm putting it out there. Okay. Y'all don't come on there Friday morning. Now, hey, I need a ticket. All right. Thursday is the cutoff time. All right. We're giving you a cutoff time. Make sure you get your email in. But before we let you go, I just want to say one thank you for being here. You all cohesively as a team does an amazing job. I know Rodney couldn't be here tonight. But you all energy, the way y'all work at with each other is very phenomenal. I just love your energy. I love what you're doing. I'm looking forward to being out there on Saturday to catch you. Keep being great. Keep trailblazing. Keep breaking the ceiling. You are the future. 10 years going to turn into 20, 20 going to turn into 30. We're going to speak that into existence because you all are what it takes to change the narrative. And we just appreciate you. We're glad that you are here. Community, get out there. If you're not the top 10, go support. Again, we talked about it tonight. Reciprocity. This show is about how do we support each other, build up. These are phenomenal young people. And I keep telling the adults of the community, when we have young, inspiring folks like you see here, we have to get behind them and support and uplift them. Let's go out, fill the seats, and support our young people who are doing amazing things to impact community. With that being said, Queen, before you get out of here, if there's any shout outs, anybody you want to give shout out, because I don't want them lying and saying, oh, you was on there, you didn't talk. Somebody will be like, I helped you. You didn't. You better go ahead and give a shout out before we let you get out of here tonight.
No, you know what I want to shout? I just want to shout out I want to shout out Ashley Smiley, who wrote Dirty White Teslas Make Me Sad. Which is that's the title. It's all in the title. And this is a theater piece that it's a sensational experience. Okay. There are 3 visual artists from the Bayview who are commissioned by the playwright to create a visual world for this story. It's brought to you by Magic Theater and Campo Santo. And I'm just like excited to see what it's going to be. The piece is also already slated to happen next year. So what you're gonna see, this is like you get the behind the scenes. You get to see a work grow. So yeah. The other shout out is make sure you tell John Henry what show you want to see. I don't know what show are these tickets to. I don't know. You got a couple options. You got 6 options. So.
All right, send me the flyer. I think we got the flyer. You sent it. We got the flyer. We already posted out on our social media. Community will make sure when you send the information, the info, we'll send you so you can pick what show you want to go to. All right, I'll make sure the first 10 people get in, and we hope all of the community shows up and support. Again, we just want to do our part. When we talk about changing the narrative, uplifting the voices of the people, this is how it happened. Community, support each other, reciprocity. Let's make it happen. But before you go, just want to say again, you are very inspirational. So keep doing what you're doing. There's some young child out there who are watching you, some young boy, girl who are thinking about getting into theater, and you all make it possible for that. Shout out to the Bravo Theater. And I want to say again, shout out to Ashley Smiley over at the Baby Opera House. Phenomenal queen. And let me just tell you, I'm going to be real. She know I love her, okay? When we started off, but I met her the first time. We didn't get off on a good start. But now we good. And Miss Smiley, I'm going to be reaching out to you anyway because I need some space over at the Baby Opera House. Them my people over there. I love the amazing work that they're doing to transition the Baby Opera House. Shout out to D. Hillman and all of the leadership over there that are really reimagining and reinvesting into the space and making sure that community has access, and these phenomenal events like you are doing are continuing to happen in our community. So shout out to Ashley Smiley. She's a phenomenal sister in the community, making sure Black folks are represented, making sure that the Opera House is represented. And we don't want to forget those folks. I got to get her to come back on. It's been a while. I need the Baby Opera House. Get over here. Come on both sides of the conversation. Talk to the people what's going on. They got amazing Wonderland that's coming up in a couple of weeks. So maybe I'll get D. Hillman or some of the folks to come on and talk about what they got going on this holiday season. But thank you again for being here. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all this Saturday night, Friday and Saturday night. I'm trying to get there on one of those nights. Or somebody from both sides of the conversation. One of my team members, somebody's coming. All right. I'm going to put it on my team. I didn't make it my team. They didn't show up. No. I'm always looking for a way out. Everybody get mad when I don't show up. So I'm looking for a way out. But now I'll be there in support. I told Rodney. And again, just love Rodney, his family, the amazing thing that they do to help impact community. Shout out to UT, Rodney, just amazing community folks. And again, when we have families and unity in the community, major things can happen. You all are making it happen. Looking forward to seeing you. Have a great evening. Thanks for showing up for Rodney and making sure that y'all event is highlighted and uplifted on this Hidden Gem segment tonight. Last minute. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for all that you do. Your newsletter is a delight. Every time I get it in my email, I'm like, yay!
You mean to tell me people actually open up my newsletter? now I'm blushing over here. I didn't think nobody read my newsletter. All right, community. I have one person that opens my newsletter. Please go and subscribe to our newsletter today. It's phenomenal. You just heard it. You have a witness tonight. All right. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Good evening and great. And we'll see you this weekend for our event. Have a good one. I can't believe it's actually got one person open up my news. I don't know what's going on with my community. Open up the newsletter. Reading is fundamental.
That newsletter be jam packed though. That newsletter is hitting, John. You doing a wonderful job.
I appreciate it, man. I got one person to tell me that my newsletter. All right. I don't know. I'm messing up the show. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm always trying to write stuff to the community. Nobody says anything, but thank you tonight. See, this is why I love back out there. To see, they represent all the way around. Thank y'all. I love y'all, community. All right. With that being said, Mark, we got our last Hidden Gem community. Hold on. I know it's late. We got one more Hidden Gem. Open up my newsletter. Mark, go ahead and bring up our last Hidden Gem for tonight.
Absolutely, gladly. And this is actually one of my favorites. She's returning. So let me re-roll out the red carpet for Miss Angela Rivas, who is a friendly and helpful life insurance broker with a special focus on mentoring and coaching women in the financial industry. She has a background that extends 20 years in the medical field and 3 years in financial services. She's gained valuable experience and expertise to guide others towards financial security, and currently her mission is to establish a safe network for women entrepreneurs where they can freely share experiences, collaborate with like-minded individuals, and empower each other to achieve success. She's passionate about helping others and dedicated to creating a supportive community for women in business. Let's work together to build a brighter future is her tagline. So with no further ado, let's bring onto the platform Miss Angela Rivas.
Angela, I can't help myself. Since you're a phenomenal coach and power of women, can you get some more people to open up my newsletter?
Look, I was going to start with that too. It's like, sign up for the newsletter. Hey, I'm with you. Reading is powerful. We got to start reading more. But no, all jokes aside, I'm going to sign up. So you're going to have 2 subscribers, Hey, so if you want to throw us a little star on your IG, because we signed up your 2 subscribers, we got you.
Definitely. Thank you. Well, go ahead and let's talk about all this amazing stuff that you are doing. I know you're coming back. I believe I wasn't here the last time that you was here. I was out of town, but I'm happy that you're here. I did watch the show, no matter if I'm here or not. I'm always watching, seeing what's going on. And that night was very powerful. You had some great comments about things. But yeah, want to hear a little bit more about it. Talk about where this ideal came and how do we, and I'm gonna just say this too, right? Because it's all these women coaches doing all this amazing stuff, and I'm proud of the women out there. How do we get some of these people to do some of this stuff for men? Because it's like everywhere I go, even on LinkedIn, it's like we're only doing stuff with women. I don't know. I feel like there's a segregation going on. I can't get no male coaches out there. We're all the male coaches.
You know what? I'm going to help you out with that because my coach is a male coach and he is fantastic and he does coach other guys. I think it's just right now it's big for women empowerment. Like, all jokes aside, right? We all were in the pandemic at home and we had to figure out a way to hustle or make something of ourselves. And I think a lot of women is where we found ourselves, is when we really were like, yo, I think I can do something with my life, or I'm not just a wife, I'm not just a mom, I'm actually an entrepreneur, or I'm a financial this, or I am an instructor, or I can go and pick up another career. I've met so many women that became poets in those times, so I think we're just in an era where we are bringing awareness to women coming out of their own shells and really being those bosses that I'm gonna say claim, because a lot of us claim that we're bosses, but when it comes down to it, we'd often fold. And that's the reason why I created this space, is to catch those ladies that are feeling like, you know what, I want to fold. This isn't for me, because it's for everybody. There's space out there for everyone. It's about mentorship. It's about finding your tribe. It's about finding people that are going to support you, not the ones that are going to lift you up. And I don't mean just that fake support, but real support, So again, it's a real mission. And I talked a little bit about it last time. It really started from finding myself in a really dark space after my heart stopped, and number one, I being told that I could never get life insurance again. And number two is, how do I lift myself up from that dark space? And then how do I reinvent myself from those challenges? How do I use them and turn them into power? So the idea has always been floating in my head. And it was about 30 days or a little more than 30 days ago, I run into a beautiful soul. Her name is Mariah, and she is my running mate in our agency. And I just exploded with all these ideas. And I was like, it's something that I've been thinking of. And she's like, you know what? I'm just going to do this. I'm going to create the show for you. And then you just start pouring onto us. And I was like, okay, I don't have time to do logistics, but I have the time to everything that's in here to pour it into pen and paper and really talk to you guys about it. So if it wasn't for her really just saying, yo, I have your back 100%, but let's do something for ladies, I think it would have taken me a lot longer, and again, it goes into, I've been talking about it this whole week. Your associations have a huge power in where you're going in your trajectory, as far as like personal, business, entrepreneur, whatever it is, but your associations have a huge impact in you. And I've been super, super lucky enough to be surrounded by amazing, powerful women lately. And it makes my heart smile. And I talk about them all the time because they're doing fantastic things. And I just love seeing them come out of their shell and become, initially there were these little cocoons, they're going to become butterflies. And now they're full on phoenixes, and it's an amazing feeling. So.
Wow, very powerful. And I want to say this because I have the utmost respect for the queens of the community. I always support the women of the community. I think it's very phenomenal when women come together and really make change. This weekend, my niece, I got to watch her. She's a drag racer, first Black woman drag racer here in California, right? So she's breaking down barriers, and just to see her do some of the amazing things, to be fearless, to drive a car at 225 miles per hour, it's pretty scary stuff, okay? And this sport is pretty dominated by men, right? And for her to be this little small lady, small frame, thin girl in this big powerful car, and I mean, it's just something with that, she's so inspired, and she's like, uncle, and I'm just like, it's important for her to also see other phenomenal women like yourself and Io, different people, because I think it is something about, like I said earlier, the how we inspire and how we influence is so important. The given the times that we are in now, all of the dark days, the stuff that's happening. I mean, it's so easy to get disconnected and just, be out there and not even have the level of just, get up to do anything. So to have these type of groups and to have these type of leaders and folks that, you're putting together to do is very powerful. And I'm just very thankful that you're doing this. But when we talk about insurance, this is a very touchy conversation about me, and I'm happy that you're in this industry. We have Sean and Cynthia coming on this Thursday to talk about multiple streams of income, but they've come on to talk about insurance. We've had all kind of folks come on to talk about insurance. It's very important, impactful for a family's legacy. And I think in the Black and brown community, it's not really educated much about how important it is and the real importance of it to leave a legacy. But there is some barriers in insurance, and I know you talked about some of it that we need to really address with our community. And a lot of the reason why these financial literacy educational presentations and why we reach out to folks like you and different folks to come bring financial literacy to our community is, one, too many times we just don't get access to that information and really have an understanding. And I understand the community that we serve. Folks love to see people who look like them in those industries because it brings them to that faithful part of saying, hey, if they're doing it, I can do it. But one of the things that I have issue with was, during the pandemic, as the violence increased, things were happening across the country. There were so many GoFundMes. And GoFundMe is good for a number of things. And it's no knock against GoFundMe. I ask myself, well, you always talk about GoFundMes. I just think when it comes to burial and funeral services, it's very tragic. When I know some of these families have the opportunity to have life insurance to protect their loved ones, and we don't take it serious. I don't know what it is about insurance. We protect our cars for insurance. It's mandatory to have it for cars, mandatory to have it for house, rental, things that we cherish so much. But when it comes to our bodies, it's just not something that's the first foremost. Hey, I need insurance on me, right? And I want to make sure that in 2024 that we definitely shift that narrative on the insurance and insurance industry to make sure that our community understands how to build that generational wealth. And, sometimes Black folks feel like it's a jinx to get life insurance and all this, stuff that we've been told. But it's really a branch to pass financial wealth to our people, and so many other cultures do it so well. But when it comes to the Black and brown community, we are still at the bottom. But one of the things when it comes to these policies, and I think, and you could tell me if I'm wrong or not, I think some of the approach from insurance companies, brokers, folks that do this insurance work, sometimes the approach in the Black and brown community is the problem. Right? Because I think when we sell insurance in the Black community, it's always they lead with, well, if you get a whole life policy, you can use this to pay for college and a house. And I think it's like, for me, I think it's kind of like, why lead with that? I'm just telling you, I know this is how they approach me. Hey, if you get this whole life policy, it's only going to be this. You can do it to buy a house. I mean, it's like, wait a second, and then, how we explain policy. And this is why when folks come onto my platform, I hold them accountable. Okay. I'm going to just tell you, I don't play around. When financial folks come on here, I tell them I'm bringing you on to talk to my community. One thing I don't do is I don't play with my people. All right. And I don't like people coming on here selling people, these BS policies and this crap and not explaining to our to our community about these companies. And a lot of times what happens is they come on here and they want to sell whole life policies and it's great, and the UDLs, and you can do all this stuff. And I say, well, wait a second. You don't talk about the premium. See, most of the Black, I'm talking about, because the community that I'm talking about, okay, I know the blue collar workers, I know our bougie Black folk, they got all the money in the world, they can do this, right? But when I'm talking to people, I'm talking to the people in my community, the people who are the working poor, people who are barely making it, the lower middle class folks who are making a decision. Do I get insurance? Do I pay my cable bill? Do I pay my cell phone bill? Do I put gas in the car? Do I buy groceries? I'm talking to those folks. And a lot of times these folks who are selling this insurance in our community, they come in here and talk about the whole life. They don't talk about nothing else but whole life. Mm-hmm. And the premiums, when I did the statistic and research, I had a brother from Farmers come on a few years ago. The numbers were just ridiculous. The amount of people who lose their policies because the increase of the premiums. And we don't really talk about it. They sell it. Oh, you start off, it's only $200 a month, $100 a month, but they don't really educate people like the premiums, how it works, and over time, the cost and premiums. And what happens is a lot of these folks who are protected within 5 to 8 years lose their policy because they can't afford the premiums. So how do you address that? Because I'm a big person. I'm going to tell you. I always tell people, get a 30-year term. No matter what. You get $1 million, $2 million policy for $50 a month. That's what I'm telling my people, okay? Because I'm like, if you're listening to the financial coaches and you're doing the right thing, these folks that we bring on to educate you, you should be able to be getting a budget, saving money, doing the right thing so that you could just have a term to kind of, highlight your need. But it's different policy for different folks. But I'm talking to the people who need it the most. What would you say about that? Am I wrong? Am I right? What do you think about? Am I radical over here? I don't know.
No, you are absolutely right. I just had this conversation. It's crazy how the universe kind of puts you in places so you can continue the message, right? I just had this conversation with one of my agents, and he's going through pre-licensing, and he's learning all these terms and lingos, right? And he's like, yo, I just received something from AAA, and they're trying to sell me a policy for this low, but he's like, I want to know more, and what would you think, being the expert, what would you, like I told him, I said, look, I can't, and I'm not going to sit here with anyone, and I will say this publicly, I won't sit here with anyone and quote. I will not do a quote, because a quote does a disservice to the community. A quote just sends somebody a number that is satisfying, actually me, the agent's not satisfying the client, right? As a real or as a true agent, I'm an independent agent, number one. I'm an independent broker, so that means I'm contracted with the top rated companies that are out there. I have a fiduciary duty to make sure that I am doing a complete financial analysis on all of my clients. Meaning I'm not going to sit here and just because I need to make sure that my bills are paid, I'm going to sell someone or I'm going to put someone in a life insurance vehicle that's outrageous. So when I was talking to my agent, I was letting him know, like, just knowing you and knowing where we're at, because obviously finances are an issue. That's why we're all starting a business. I educated him on getting him a small term, what we call a starter policy, right? It at least protects you. It protects enough. It gives you enough coverage. Your monthly premiums are not going to be crazy. They're going to be within reason. And I'm speaking for less than what you would spend on a movie night with your girlfriend. You can get yourself covered for a good amount, with a good amount of death benefit, and it's not breaking the bank, and it's just about how we're explaining things, how we're educating it. And a term policy is not going to fit everyone. A whole policy is not going to fit everyone because of medical conditions and all the other good stuff that goes into underwriting. An IUL, which is an index universal, is not also going to fit everyone. So again, as a broker, as someone who knows her trade, I just cannot go out into the community and just try to sell anyone. I want to educate. Number one, I want to let you know what each policy does or what each vehicle does, because it's a vehicle, right? You can do so much with it. So I want to educate them on what a term can do for them. And depending on if you have a 20-year term, you have a 30-year term, there's a couple of policies that if you don't utilize your benefits, you can get your premiums back. But educating them on the difference, like those premiums turn out to be a little more because you're getting your premiums back. Okay, well, do you need a whole life? Or what do you think you need a whole life? Just really trying to understand the client and where they're at and where they're trying to go in the future, right? So I completely understand. And I think a lot of these companies, I won't name, major companies, but I think a lot of these captive agents that are with these big insurance companies, their concern is not the community. Their concern is a commission at the end of the week. And their concern is how do they increase their commission at the end of the year, right? So for an agent like me, I can care less. And I say that, honestly, I can care less what my commission is going to be, but I care more about leaving someone well off and making sure that their family is going to be well. And I mean that wholeheartedly. And I think I have a couple of people that are listening that I have done that for them. Like I structure their policies to where it's going to benefit them because I was screwed over by an agent who, when I first started in IUL, they made it to where I couldn't overinvest in it because they wanted a bigger commission. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to learn how to properly do this for my clients, make sure that my community understands how and what they're getting. And it was a game changer for me. I could never, ever, with all due respect, screw another community member because I needed a commission check.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna make a lot of noise and I'm gonna start a fire in 2024 because I'm going after the insurance commission. Okay, I think it need to be more oversight. I think the industry of insurance have become like a gambling place to take advantage of not just all people, but in the community. Okay, I've been doing some research, tracking. I'm gonna just tell you right now, the insurance companies, and not just in insurance for life insurance, I'm talking about across the board. When you look at how they charging for house insurance, fire insurance, structure insurance, flood insurance, auto insurance, one claim. Okay, I'm doing some research right now. The amount of increase that they are charging for Black and brown people when they have a claim for auto insurance, house insurance, rental insurance is ridiculous. I'm talking 25 to 35% increases. Okay, it needs to be some oversight, especially here in California at the California Insurance Commission. The Attorney General, I'm calling him out, Mr. Bonita. We got to have a conversation, okay, brother? There's something going on with the Insurance Commission here in California, okay? The amount of money, okay? We need a serious investigation on the insurance industry, okay? Because when it comes to Black and brown community, I'm telling you, there is some discriminatory, predatory practices, okay? One auto infraction, one turning without putting your signal light on, it's going to jack your insurance up 30%. When you look at Black and brown communities, so people don't think I'm just out here fussing and cussing. I fight for the people, y'all. Okay. I know a lot of people in our community have the same complaints and they feel hopeless, like they can't do nothing. We got to stand together as a community and start combating these industries that are preying on our community. Okay. It's just what it is. All right. And nobody's doing nothing because they lobbying our political people. And it's terrible in Sacramento. I'm fighting for the people. Mr. Bonita, the Attorney General.
Let's fight together.
We need to talk, okay?
Let's fight together. Let's fight together. Then I'm right there.
We got to do it. And again, to my folks out there, insurance brokers, folks who are in the industry, this is no attack on you. But we got to change the way these industries are doing their business in our community. It is terrible. Okay, I'm all for people making a living. I'm not trying to take away from people living because when you make these type of complaints, John Henry, you trying to take away my living? No. I want to take away the greed. I want to take away, these tactics that they're using to attack our community. Okay, and I'm gonna just tell you, it is a big problem, community, and this is why I tell all of our community folks this voting season. We have to get involved with the civic process. I'm just telling you, these corporations, these billion-dollar industries are taking advantage of people every day. And if we don't come together, stand together, it's just unbelievable. How could you have a $500,000 $1 million house, okay? And you got to have $1 million house protection. You got to have $1 million for fire. You got to have $1 million for flood. You got to have $1 million for burglary. I mean, this is crazy.
This is only happening in California, right?
That's what I'm saying. We got to stand together, community. We got to stand together.
This is a subject that I talked to my mentor about because a lot of my friends who are with these bigger companies are having to close their doors. So it is affecting a lot of brokers because California has put in a lot of. They've actually started the stopping of the higher premiums and making sure that homeowners are taken care of. So you're hitting it right on the head. But it's actually the bigger companies. I don't want to name these large companies. I don't want to say their names, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It's the big companies that are out there that really have stopped all business. And if you want their business, they're charging you an arm and a leg. So I agree 100%. Yes, it's some of the agents, but it really starts from the bigger companies that are forcing the agents to do some of this, I guess, shady work, so to speak. you know, and it's not an excuse. I'm not excusing anybody for doing that work, but I just want to shed some light that it's the bigger companies that are really messing with our communities. They started the premium. I know the premium increases. They started it a while ago until they really just stopped all. I can't remember who was the one who did it. I'm trying to bring back my memory, but there was someone in within the house or somebody that stopped just the premiums. Now all companies are pulling out. I know Farmers pulled out of California. Allstate pulled out of California. Geico's pulling out. So what are we going to be left with? You know, and that's something that we really need to talk to whoever we need to talk to and make sure that we bring in better companies that understand the needs of our community. We have people that deal with fires. Oakland Hills deal with fires. Napa's dealing with fires. You know, so what do we do for those people that now can't get insurance on their homes? You know, so it is a bigger issue, and I'm with you.
I'm at a point where we need to create a California community fund where everybody pays into it, and we when things happen, we just I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I want to say that to the community when I say stuff. He's like, John Henry, you think you have? I don't have all the answers, but something needs to happen because you're right. These big corporations are preying on our people, and when they get called out and they get called for oversight and accountability, this is what they do in California. They leave. And we got to change that. I'm looking at what's going on right now with PG&E, all the wildfires. They paid out all these billions of dollars. Now today, they're trying to increase the PG&E rates 22 to 25% during this time of the year in winter when our elders, our young people need heat. They're going to increase on the people that already pay too much. You're going to increase people bills by $200 to $300 at the worst time of the year in the winter. I mean, this is what these corporations are doing. We got to have a conversation, community. It is time. All of the public utility commissions, we got to get involved. See, we don't get involved in this stuff. We just let them do what they want to do. We got to start setting up, community. All power is in the people. We got to take the power back. All right, Brother Mark Ayo, go ahead. I'm taking over the show tonight. I don't know what's going on. I'm feeling it tonight. All right, go ahead.
You're always so passionate when it comes to finance. That's why, John, it's okay. Since our last time seeing you, we were talking, it was a big thing for me specifically and personally about pre-existing conditions. Many people in our communities have pre-existing conditions. Can you reiterate the information about policies, and because you have that personal experience as well, about the pre-existing conditions and what the options are for people who think like, I won't be eligible for anything because I have diabetes, I have all of these, pre-existing medical conditions. What is the information that you can share and the hope that you can give them for them even getting the smallest or some type of policy in regards to a pre-existing condition?
That is an awesome question. And you're absolutely right. Our communities are riddled with a lot of pre-existing conditions, and it goes into the lack of education. Starting with our school systems. They're not educating us on healthy habits, healthy living habits. And that's really where it starts, right? But I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because it is a rabbit hole. Me and John are going to go back and forth all night here. But really, there are options. Working with an independent broker that has access to not just one carrier, but multiple. Like I'm contracted with 26, so just having that variety of carriers and knowing who you're working with. I work with some of the top rated and also a very dope carrier that allows or doesn't really take away points for anyone for being obese, having diabetes, or even having a stroke. That as long as it's been within a few years, they're willing to work with you. And then now, if it's been something recent within 6 months or whatnot, there's also accidental insurances. There's also accidental plans that you can get where you're not just walking around life without anything. There's something we always have something to help you out and making sure that your family's taken care of. So I'm actually dealing with someone right now, working with a client who has a few medical conditions, and and that was her worry is like, I don't think I'm going to be able to get approved. And within 48 hours, we're going to hear whether or not, I should say he got approved because it's the husband, but I do also have another client who has a few medical conditions, and we're about to go through the whole process of seeing if she can get qualified based on the underwriting guidelines. But again, the agent, the broker that you're working with has to be knowledgeable in that area. It can't just be a broker that's going to say, oh, you have those medical things. Okay, well, let's try this plan or let's try this policy, because once you get denied, that goes on your medical background. So as an agent, you don't want to get a client to a point where they're denied. That hard denial that goes on our MBI or MIB, and that's really difficult to get out. So next time you go and apply for a life insurance policy, they're going to say, well, wait a minute, you just got denied for one. So what makes you think I'm going to approve you for one? So just being knowledgeable, knowing the underwriting guidelines, and just knowing your carriers on how to work. Lastly, a lot of agents don't do that, but this is something that my mentors really drill on us. If you don't know, just pick up the phone call and call the carrier. Like, they're there to help you, to educate you as an agent. So 99% of the time, if I can't get a hold of somebody that knows the answer, I will call the underwriter at the insurance company and say, hey, before I submit, before I ding my client, like, I need to know the real, and they will give you the real, and they'll tell you yes or no, Angie, we're going to run the risk, don't do it. So there's always an option. Even for myself, like I said, actually this month I'm celebrating 4 years of rebirth on the 21st, so the pictures came up because it was my son's birthday yesterday. I have a 20-year-old. Can you believe that? Oh gosh. And he reminded me, he was like, you remember that one time I saved your life? I was like, whatever, kid. But I have an accidental policy, and I just found out that we're about to get contracted with a carrier that have seizures, that will work with clients with seizures. So that's a huge win. I'm thinking like, hey, maybe I can get a policy now. So we'll see. I gotta learn more about this carrier, but it was thrown at me, and I was just like, oh my God, I need to learn. I need to know. So it's exciting.
Well, we definitely congratulate you on all the positive things that are happening. And that was probably one of the things that I remembered most, because your personal journey, you overcame so much, and it was so powerful and inspiring. But then the thing was that your consultative approach when you sit down with people, because like John was saying, when it comes to insurance in our community, a lot of people, they look at it as a bill. And at the end of the day, we find money for what we want. Like when we want to go out, we want to turn up, we want to party, we want something, we'll find the money for that. Can you just talk to the community right now for a moment about how you would approach them shifting their mindset when they're approaching insurance to make it something that they desire, because it is actually a beneficial tool financially for them?
That is a good question, because I do run into that objection a lot, like, hey, it's a bill. And 99% of the people that I'm speaking to are parents, so it's as simple as, I will give you the real. One of my agents refused to get life insurance, and he's out there every single day driving, and I had to get really real with him. Like, you're a father, number one. If you're gone, and you have a mom, you have a grandmother, if you're gone, your child is going to be without, your mom is going to be without, and your grandma is going to miss you. And how are they going to move on than having to deal with the finances or the hit of having to deal with your funeral? Like, that was just like, oh, you put it in that perspective. Hold on a second. Let me figure my finances out, and I'm gonna come back to you. Same as my other agent, my one of my other running mates. Same thing. You guys are out on out in the streets. I wouldn't feel right knowing that I could have gotten you protected. I didn't educate you enough. And then something happened, and now your family's on GoFundMe trying to figure out just your funeral costs, but that doesn't include the cost of taking care of your kids for the next 18 years, or making sure that your mortgage is paid off so your kids have a place to live, or or your business keeps going, or your, whatever it is. So I sometimes have to get really real with them and put it to them in those terms. Like, there is somebody that depends on you, and you not doing this is a disservice to them. And other times I just let them know flat out, like, okay, well, I said the same thing, and I actually canceled my life insurance policy, and a few years later my heart stopped, and I could never take that time back and go get a life insurance policy because I just couldn't.
Wow. Well, you waking our community up tonight. Very, very important information. I think one of the biggest things that we don't talk a lot about too is, when you talk about the issues of underwriters, the disparity of having Black and brown underwriters, because folks don't understand, even buying a house, whatever, the underwriters is the people who really are the gatekeepers that's going to give you that access. And, the lack of diversity, the lack of understanding that you have in that department is very challenging for community. So how do you fix that and change that? And then my last question is, see, I'm always coming back to the relationships. Now we got to put that on the list, Mark. Okay, before you date somebody, I got to make sure you can get life insurance.
It's a requirement.
I need a legacy. I got to make sure I leave a legacy. You might not be able to go out. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm being funny tonight. I'm trying to bring some, life insurance is sometimes a difficult conversation for folks. So I'm trying to bring some light to it, okay? I'm not making fun, but I gotta make some kind of fun. But go ahead and talk about the underwriting and some of the issues that we see with underwriting.
Some of the issues that we see with underwriting is the fact that agents they see the carriers as the bad people. Like, you can't call them, just pick up the phone. The carriers don't want to have rejections. They don't like to have denials because it brings down their numbers too. So they're more than willing to give you the information, especially for independent agents, those that are going into our community, knocking on our doors, telling our elders, like, hey, do you have final expense life insurance? And they need to be well informed of what they're selling. And if you don't have a mentor, I'm thankful that I work with an agency that pours onto me. I work hand in hand with my mentors, so I can definitely just shoot them a text like, I don't know this info, and I don't know if I, can have 10 minutes to get on the phone with the carrier. Can you shoot me? And they're quick to tell me. But for people who don't have that, get on the phone with your carriers, ask them the questions. Even if you don't have a client, just say, hey, I have an XYZ client, and I want to know if they have diabetes and their A1C is at 9.5, will that disqualify them? Will that give them a rated, or would that just put them in just ask the questions. There was a moment in time where I didn't have leadership. I went about 6 months and I wasn't writing, but I didn't have leadership. And I was really scared of being a life insurance agent, not having leadership, and me being out here talking about this. So I would call the carriers and I would act like I had a client, and I would give them scenarios so I can educate myself until I found leadership, and then I was thankful enough to find the leadership that I have because they've developed me to where I'm at now. But in that meantime, just pick up the phone. And if you don't want to pick up the phone, go find an agency that's willing to train you and provide you that leadership, because there's a few of us that do it, so me right here, so I will do it gladly.
There you have it, community. You got a broker here. You got a personal broker that's just coming to the community. But I don't know, Mark, and I'm just gonna say today, I don't know. This show was kind of a different Hidden Gem show. We talk about good food. We talk about death. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to eat the good food.
To answer your question, there is no part of the requirements to date me is you have to have a life insurance policy. And if you don't, I have to write your life insurance policy. And if you don't allow me, please don't call me again. That's it.
We go add this to the list of first dates, okay, Mark?
Hey, boy, I tell you, that list of dating requirements is getting longer and longer for folks, boy. Ain't none of us gonna qualify to date here in a minute.
I just want to make sure I leave people better than when I first met them, and if we met, you got to get a life insurance policy, period.
I don't know. This is I gotta stop because my high blood pressure is going to kick. I'm not taking my medicine anymore.
Oh, Jesus.
No, but Ms. Rivas, thank you for being here, being a trailblazer, and the work that you're doing. But I know it's getting late. Before we let you get out of here, if you want to give any shots out to anybody, anything you want to uplift, if you have any events that you're going to be tabling at, we got your information going across the screen. Community, if you can't write it down fast enough, reach out to her. Make sure you connect. We need everybody in our community to take it serious about life insurance again. We're living in times, we see what's going on across the world, globally, locally. Things are just happening. We need to protect ourselves so that we can leave generational wealth to our young people and to our families. Do the right thing. Be the responsible adult or the guardian, whatever you are. Be responsible. Get some life insurance. And fellas, don't pull up on Miss Rivers if you ain't got the life insurance.
Don't pull up on me. If you go straight to voicemail, now you know it's because you don't have a life insurance policy. I'm just kidding. I'm going to shout out my team. In the last 7 days, these girls, just real quick, these girls have been really trailblazing out there, powerhouses. Mariah, not only did she get promoted, but she then got her third license that she's adding onto her belt. Lachey, Sally, I want to shout out Leo and Dante. Those are part of my teams. I like heart these people. And of course, I want to shout out my mentor. He's always at my beck and call. If I call him right now, Coach, they want you to get on, I promise you he would get on. That's my team. And UE Financial, I love you guys.
Man, definitely. Well, I just want to say thank you again. And we'll get you back in the future here again as we kick off 2024. Hopefully, if you have some time, every New Year's when we come back from taking our break, because we always take a nice holiday break. I always try to kick the new year off with a bunch of financial folks to come on our Educational Thursday, talk about life insurance, financial, because we know at the end of the year, everybody's putting their New Year goals, and we want to make sure that stuff stays on their mind and is fresh. So you have an open invitation. Please join us after the New Year's, because I want to make sure that we continue to push into 2024, talking about financial literacy, mental health, the most important things that folks are talking about with their New Year's resolutions and things of that nature. So definitely, if you find some time in the new year, please come on. We want to keep people focused. We want to keep them grounded in their New Year's resolutions and making sure that our community continues to get the information that sometimes our community don't get. So with that being said, thank you for being here again tonight. Pleasure for me meeting you. I can see why Mark and I had a phenomenal time with you before. I love your energy and the information that you bring to the community. You a real one. Okay, now stand with me, because I'm going after the Attorney General and all the insurance companies.
You let me know. My entire team and I will be there with you.
Yeah, I gotta stop calling these people out. Somebody said John Henry. They gonna come after you. You always calling people. But we gotta highlight and spotlight what's going on. It's very tragic things. Again, we put elected officials, folks in place to make sure these type of practices doesn't happen. We do have an issue, community, especially here in California. There's going to be some real conversation about the future of insurance, what it's going to look like, community together. We're going to have to come together and come up with some solutions to help fix this problem and hold our elected officials accountable and really put a highlight on what's going on in the insurance industry as a whole. I can't get my words out tonight, but we need to do that. And again, it is important that we all stay civically involved and do our part to make sure our voices are lifted through voting and all of the other tools and mechanisms that we could do to hold these folks accountable. So again, Ms. Rivas, thank you for being here tonight. Looking forward to seeing you in the future. And we'll be reaching out and connecting to you. Maybe we can help support somebody get a policy.
Most definitely. And I just wanted to let you guys know, in January, I am going to be speaking at an entrepreneurs event. So I will share this with you guys as the time comes in closer, but they reached out to me and obviously they want to showcase. So I will share the information so you guys can come support.
Yes, definitely. Please submit any flyers of the event, if it's on Zoom, whatever, so that we can share it with our community. We want to make sure that we support you. That's what it's all about. We talked about it tonight. Community reciprocity. Support each other. We're gonna keep doing it here at both sides of the conversation. Thank you, and we continue to pray for you. We're just happy to hear all the great news that's happening. Continue to be great. Continue to fight for the people. Okay, when you see things ain't right, continue to uplift your voice to make that change as we continue to work together, community, to change the narrative on what's happening in our community. Thank you for being here tonight, and we'll see you in the future soon. Have a blessed evening, Queen.
Thank you all.
All right. All right, community, there you have it. Io, y'all, this is an amazing show. Okay, we talked about food, good food, bad food. I don't know, food. We talked about dance, theater, and we talked about life insurance. See, after you eat good, you party good, you gotta have some insurance. It's not so good. I
Gotta
don't
make
know.
sure you have got a policy so you can date. Like you gotta have a policy
We
so,
gotta
so
have
you
a
can have
policy.
somebody to go eat some good food
Fellas,
with, and then
You
take it to
gotta
the
have the
theater.
policy in order to go on the date, in order to go see that show.
fellas,
It's a man, all right?
fellas, it is Male Mental Health Month, okay, fellas? Go get your policy before it's too late. You might not get a day after this. I don't know. See what both sides of the conversation create. We're creating firestorms everywhere. Now the ladies are gonna be pulling up on dudes. Where's your life insurance policy? How much is it? I don't know. We
I'll
gotta
go
watch.
to the Cheesecake Factory if you got life insurance.
Oh my God. This is why it's so much fun on these shows. I know it's getting late, but before we get out of here, Brother Mark, the voice, give some parting words to the community. Community, we also learned tonight if you open up the newsletter, I might get more than one person to read. Go ahead, Brother Mark.
Oh, well, let me just say, this is why I love Hidden Gems. We have such amazing people in the community. Of course, want to thank Miss Angela Rivas, Miss Ada Prezada, and of course, Miss Kaja Elliott, Miss K in the Bay. And she's been active in the chat too. Thank you for supporting us in the chat, Sister K. Again, we have such amazing people that are doing such amazing things. I just wish more positivity like this got more attention. So community, please like, share, support, continue to comment. If we don't take the initiative to support the things that are supporting us as a people, pouring back into us, then all the negativity, all the drama, and all the BS is going to continue to get all the attention, and we don't want that. So, community, I challenge you, support the positivity. All the hidden gems, connect with them, reach out, do your part for yourself in helping build the community.
Man, they need to do their part and help support us. Maybe we can get a sponsor tonight after all this great stuff. I need some help. I'm tired of holding this cardboard sign up. Please help. Donate to vote. Come on, all my allies, come support the people. We support all people. We love all of our people. And again, this show is phenomenal. I love this because all of the things that's going on in the world tragically right now, all of the bad news we hear, this show is always a great show because it's just phenomenal. See the positivity, the change makers, the trailblazers, the entrepreneurs, the great folks that impact our community. So thank you all. But before we go, Sister Io, she's going to the Cheesecake Factory, fellas, with the life insurance policy. Leave a important word to the community, Io.
Meet me at the best food truck, okay? On the grid. What's up, okay? Date night. Make sure you have all your checks and balances, okay? For sure. Nevertheless, this was an amazing Hidden Gems show. It really was. Like you said, we've had a little bit of all the walks in life here tonight, and I am so grateful to have been sharing this space with each and every one of these amazing ladies, from Ida to Angie to Kaja. We got so much information this evening, and we are so thankful for you guys coming on. Please, community, tap in with these women and make sure you are rotating that dollar within our community. Make sure that you are pouring into one another, and make sure that you log in and sign up for a show. Somebody that you might know, you know what I mean, that has an entrepreneurship or business, community activists, any of those things, make sure you get them on, because we want to shine light on each and every one of them. We may just have a small space here, but we can reach so many people when we are making sure that we are rotating that love, admiration, loyalty, humbleness, and all those things into each other. What we pour out into the community comes from our support and our sponsors. And like John said, hey, we do what we can with what we have, but we can do so much more for our community with our sponsorships, donations. We are an open door for all allies alike, Black, brown, It doesn't matter creed or color. We are open for each and every one, because building community is more than just a color of your skin. Building community is more than just what neighborhood you grew up in. Building community means for us to have that bridge to get over and to make sure that we are pouring into one another. So I thank you for tonight's show. I thank you to everybody that tuned in, everybody that was in the comments, and we thank you again to our guests who came on.
Well, I just want to say thank you both. Okay. These two phenomenal folks, the voice, Io, the queen of our platform. You know, you all hold it down when I'm out. You know, you keep the conversation. You all are the ones out connecting, making sure that our community knows who is doing what in our community. So I just want to give my hats off to you all publicly and to our entire both sides of the conversation team. There's some phenomenal people in this organization who care about their community, who care about people, who work tireless hours, giving their all to make sure our community is supported when it comes to organizing, mobilizing, dismantling systems. You know, we all about that. So just want to say shout out to my entire both sides of the conversation team, all of you, our board, our amazing folks that just continue to show up for community. And that's why I'm big on reciprocity, all of the events, all of the information. We don't get all of the funding, but every donation, every sponsor, every ally, every corporation that helps us, it makes a difference because we give back to the people. We make sure that the community is packed it. And I'm serious about not holding that cardboard sign, okay? I'm tired of holding that cardboard sign, looking for financial support. Please support our podcast. Please support the work that we're doing as we continue to try to bring information, education, awareness to the community every week and try to uplift the people. That's what it's all about. So just want to say thank you for that. Again, subscribe to our newsletter. I'm honored tonight. I had one person open up my newsletter. So I'm excited tonight. I feel special. Community. Go to our newsletter. Read the newsletter. Reading is fundamental. I'm validated tonight. Somebody open my newsletter. I don't know. I'm excited tonight. Maybe I'll get one more subscriber. I don't know. I got to check the stats. I might get two. I don't know. But it's always great. We try to give all of our information and what's going on in our newsletter to update community. I know it's hard for some folks to watch shows and different things, but our newsletter try to keep everybody up to date what's going on. And you get to hear from me. I got one person who listened to me tonight. I'm excited, okay? I'm always trying to give gems to the community. So again, tune in, sign up to our newsletter, connect with us on all of our social media handles as we continue to try to change the narrative from the voices of the people, as we continue to tell the stories of the people. We hear the good, the bad, the ugly here at both sides of the conversation. It is very important. So with that being said, I know it's late. We got to get out of here. I got to give the benediction. Because if I don't get the benediction, nobody's going to open up my newsletter. All right, let's go with the benediction. We're going to start it off like this tonight. Community has been great to be here. Another segment of our Hidden Gems as we continue to highlight the Black and brown businesses, the community leaders and organizations that are doing positive things to impact our community. Tonight, you heard, I don't know how it all rolled in. Tonight, we started off with great food. Kay from the Bay was here. I don't know. Tune in, check out, see what's going on. She's one of those folks who are letting you know where the good food at. You heard her. If it's good food, you'll see her post it. Check out her website, her Instagram, all the stuff that's going on so you can find out where the food is. She even says she cooks. It's okay to take a first date to the food truck community. I don't know. Some of the best food in the Bay is coming right out of the food truck. Don't be ashamed. Find your feed. There's a lot of things going on. Shout out to all of the amazing Black chefs that continue to use their Black creative genius to make the cuisines, the food, the presentations, all of the great stuff. It is an art, culinary art. Just remember that. Shout out to all of the amazing chefs out there that continue to give us the great food. I don't know. I got some good food tonight to do. I'm eating healthy, community. I'm going to eat great tonight. Then we had the amazing edits on here from Zach from the SF Tobacco Company talking about the amazing Roots Festival. Okay, community, get out there this week. Tonight, both sides of the conversation. We're paying for the first 10 people. You better get your email at info@BSOTC. You got to get it in before Thursday at noon, okay? But we will get 10 people in to check out the Roots there. They are doing some amazing work. Shout out to my guy, Rodney, and all of the work that they are doing. When we talk about arts, when we talk about talent, these Black and brown young folks are amazing. They have a culture of people, all different cultures. But I'm talking about the Black and brown culture tonight. Some phenomenal folk. Y'all seen the energy tonight. Go check them out. Go support. It's going to be a great event this weekend. A number of theaters come together. Recovery Theater, Afro Solo. Amazing stuff. And then finally, we had the amazing broker here talking about life insurance. I don't know, community. Tonight is the night. Maybe you've been thinking about it. Maybe you didn't know. Reach out to the broker. Get some life insurance. Too many times, our community folks are dependent on GoFundMes. I know GoFundMes is good for a lot of things, but we should not be relying on life insurance for GoFundMe to bury our loved ones. Let's do a better job, community. Here at both sides of the conversation, we always talking about being intentional, making sure we're doing the preventive work. Prevention for tonight means getting your life insurance, getting your policy, doing the things that you need to do to help out in the community. Let's do that. Let's be proactive. Let's leave a legacy to our community. We must do that. Let's be the great adult that we need to be. Let's be the great community leaders. Let's be the responsible beings to make sure that our young people, our elders, do the right thing so when they pass away, we can leave some of that wealth to our community. With that being said, that's the benediction. It was short and sweet. That is it. Thank you all for tuning in this Thursday. Tune in, okay? 2 days from now, tune in. We're going to have another educational Thursday. We're going to have Cynthia and Sean come back. They're talking about multiple streams of income. Times are getting hard. The nights are getting young. The days are getting cold. Layoffs are happening across the globe. Learn some new ways to create wealth in your family and opportunities to bring income in your household. Okay, this Thursday, we're going to have a conversation about that. They're going to come on and teach you about multiple streams of income. Looking forward to that. And then this Sunday, the honorable show for all of our amazing veterans. I'm talking about the Black and brown veterans, all veterans, but my Black and brown veterans, sometimes the ones who don't get the acknowledgement, don't get the credit, don't get the fair treatment. We want to talk to them. We want to uplift them. Talk about some of the things that we can do as a community to walk with them, step with them. If that is you, if you are a veteran and you serve for this country, America, this is your weekend. Sign up. We got room for a couple panelists. Let's hear from you. We want to hear from our veterans, and we're going to do something special for our veterans this Sunday because we want to let them know we stand in solidarity with you. We honor you, and we thank you for your service, and we appreciate you here at both sides of the conversation. So, tune in this Sunday, and we're going to talk about our veterans, the support they need. Looking forward to that. And our veterans this weekend, enjoy your weekend, celebrate community, all of our Black and brown businesses. If a veteran comes into your business, show them some love this weekend. It's their weekend. With that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Now I can eat a healthy meal. Now I can calm my blood pressure down. Now you ladies can stop throwing rocks at me, okay? And for all the new readers tonight, open up my